also his church was also terrorized. We also have a president who often uses church too as a place to speak to Liberian people, and we've seen his support, especially initially. I think I've seen in a couple of churches where some religious leaders were interacting with him. So I didn't think that they were uh, considering the president's relationship with the religious leaders. I didn't think that they would put religious leader to be a place of trust.
Mm.
So
Okay,
yeah, it's
fair,
their
fair
social,
assessment.
their
And you
social.
talked about Senator Prince Johnson and his church. On Sunday, he just brought about another trending issue. On Sunday, during his sermon, Senator Johnson said the only way you can defeat him in Nimba
Hmm.
is unless you have not fornicated before, you've not committed adultery. But if you know somewhere along the line you've done either of the two or both, just know you can win him in Nimba. So he has introduced a new criteria if you want to win him in Nimba County. Aside presenting tangibles to the people, you should be morally chaste, pure. If not, you can win. So I just thought to share that as well.
That's really
So
interesting.
he's
So he's saying that MDR, his political party, definitely will win in Nimba. Is that what he's saying?
yeah, that's what he's saying. And if you qualify, if you can look at those boxes and tick them and say yes, I've never committed adultery or fornication before in my entire life, then you stand a chance of winning.
That's really interesting. In fact, the Daily Observer also in their paper they pointed out that they are awaiting Vice President Buckeye to speak out on uh, the TRC report, considering that he's now in connection with Prince Johnson. So that was reported in the Daily Observer that they're waiting for him to give a definite statement. Where does he stand on the TRC report? Uh, I actually a developing story that I'm following is the illegal logging in the country. So something for I've just been reading up on that. It seems there was something in the paper today about that as well. Um, but increasing, I'm seeing articles about that in either papers in Liberia. But yeah, I'm just curious that our resources are just been taken out of the country, and we're not getting the benefit of the resources like our logging companies. People are illegally sending them the logs, the timbers across the Atlantic Ocean, and we're not getting anything out of it. That's kind of the gist of the articles. But I want to welcome Mr. Fagon. How are you? How you doing?
I'm trying to be a good man. And let me say hi to you and hi to Dama. Dama, why are you laughing? I am trying
Because
to
the
be,
way you just said you're trying to be a good man, like
but
you've admitted that you're a bad man, or you know that you've got faults, so you're working hard to be good.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you took me straight to therapy because I imagine you sitting in my couch in my office and you saying I'm trying to be a good man, and my response would be to you, what makes you think that you're not a good man?
as you can see, I waited for you all. That's just exhibiting that I'm trying to be a good guy. The truth of the matter is, judge for ye be not judged, but you both are acting like you are perfect. There is not one without sin. And for
You are
all have
Jesus.
sinned and have fallen short of the glory of God. And
Amen.
because of that, I am trying to be a good man. And the reason why I'm
Amen.
trying to be a good man, because when the Bible says, for all have sinned and have fallen short of the glory of God, then I know that my Bible tells me that the wages of sin is death,
Mm-hmm.
and the
Mm,
gift of God is eternal life.
Mm-hmm.
So I am
mm.
trying to be a good man because sin is a bad thing. And if you look further, okay, you will see Ephesians 2:8 and 9. For by grace are ye saved through faith, and not of yourselves that any man should boast. It is the gift of God. It is that gift of God of eternal life that I am looking for. So I'm trying to be a good man because I know when I'm done with the likes of George Weah and his gang, they will call me a bad man. But you know, God used Saul. Saul had killed almost 10,000 Christians, and he still used him. He looked at Sodom and Gomorrah. He still took one guy from among the people there. He looked at Jonah. He sent him to Nineveh. He disobeyed. The fish swallowed him. He still carried him on the beach. He looked at people who had done so much bad. The woman who was bleeding for so many years. People said, look at her, you dirty, you get it. And he said, somebody touched me. The bad woman received her healing there. So I will continue to strive to be good so that his mercy can be upon me, so that I can deliver the Liberian people from the misery they find themselves in by giving me, by carrying out the prophetic word of God that says that, and if you like, I will share with you. It came from Archbishop Michael Bacala Francis and Mother Dukley. The prophecy is being fulfilled now. That exactly what they said and what Bishop Francis wrote to the Pope in Rome, that is all around. I can read it for you. There it is. He said, after this young man who will become so brutal, become a dictator, be healed by young people and everything, will come a statesman. And that statesman was the video that I showed you the other day when I showed JMB at the White House being received by the United States government on royal red carpet and given honor guards salutation before being escorted into the White House. I will continue to strive and to try to be a good man. And I will continue to recognize my late friend that can come from the room 6 o'clock in the evening, because suffer little children to come unto him. If you do to the little children, Jesus loved them, he will bless you. That's why I'm trying to be good.
That was a mouthful.
When will you announce offering time? Because after the sermon,
that is the problem in my ministry. My ministry, that is the singular problem I have in my ministry. So as a young person,
offering, eh?
No. Because you see, since the pastor then, the men of God then, some of them have 3-4 private jets and people are going to bed hungry. Some of them have mansions worth $3 million. You ever saw Jesus' house? Some of them are riding $300,000 car. But Jesus saw horses, and he saw that horses were drawing chariots in which Roman generals stood. Those were very fast and decorated. He rode a donkey. At the end of the day, when you see the word Christians, it's after the word Christ. It means Christ-like. But all these people are wearing these expensive coats and telling you, since they've been collecting offering, which one of them have shown God to you collecting his offering? Have you ever seen God come down and take his offering and say, this church have reported to me this amount? When people took offerings to the temple in the days of Christ, it was laid at the altar. It used to be shoes, clothes, food, and they left it there. The high priest left it there for others who did not have, especially the widows and others, the elderly. They came and collected it. And only the Muslims are practicing to build their mosques today. Everybody brings something. It at 10 blind, you bring it. That's why the mosques take longer than the church to build, because you have to build it together as a family. But what you see in Liberia is exploitation of ignorance, not a display of Christianity. God exists. I believe in God. I believe in God. But that nonsense they're doing in Liberia, power oil, falala, can I touch it with my hand? You pay $100, I anoint the oil. That's stealing. Don't make mistake with me. That's broad day stealing. And the ignorant people are falling for it. So we don't see that. We know what they are doing. So in my church, there will be no offering. We'll do things together.
Okay.
And I'm facing your hair, fam.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm missing Salimatu now.
I know, right? Salimatu coming. She coming.
Where?
She'll come.
No. I heard from Musa Berete, Murphy say he withdrew all his people. So I'm working on Salimatu. Both of us will become independent.
Oh, okay. So
nobody can control. We just support who we want to support.
What are you now?
Who, me?
Mm-hmm.
In the political arena?
Yes, but you say you working to become independent. So
I have always, you look on my page, it never changed. I am a nationalist. I
nationalist.
went to the coalition as a nationalist. I
Mm-hmm.
did not belong to any party. I just joined as a nationalist. Now, I support Joseph Newman Barker, but I'm still a nationalist, a liberal nationalist. It's all about my country. I care less about your name, whether you used to work with Coca-Cola, how many years you've been in government, who coming from Harvard, we working on, as long as it's about my country, that's all I care about.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, so there we go.
Y'all tell that man from the screen, why we're having good, man. We're having a very good conversation, spirited and religious.
You've never had a religious conversation, Fago. Never.
What kind of conversation we have?
You don't know God. God know you, but you don't know God.
That you know God. Now why your hair growing now?
My hair not growing again.
Jarasta. Dama,
what's up? I see Gibson in the back. You don't bring Gibson on here. I see in the back. That mess up putting Taiwan Gonglo. Let you stay in the back. Hey, Dama, why you bring? Why you brought him here? That man at Taiwan Gonglo supporter. I mean, I get one for
y'all want me on backer, so y'all let me know so I can make a decision.
You're backer, right? That's Richard say.
Yes.
I can't wait for Lami. They say Lami apply for that job, and Joey I say I can't get a job. When they got support to Taiwan Gonglo. Lami apply for a job. They were going through the name. They saw Lami name. Joey I say you put that thing in the trash, man. Where man call Lami? I will get that thing.
He probably thought out Eugene Lamio.
No. I don't know what Castle Lami. They said that Castle Lami wore a coat suit, Damo. You know the job we're talking about, LACC commissioner.
Yeah, the LACC.
Lami, I beg you, please don't get vet. We got to say the one. The man wore a 3-piece coat suit. Gibson, your brother from Taiwan Gonglo. You know how you can dress. You're the counselor there now. The man went there, they put him on a big conference table. He saw all the sedition around him. They started to interview him. Let me say, I wore all of that. I knew that they wasn't giving it to me. The first question they asked Lami, are you a sedition?
Oh, shit.
That LSCC thing, seriously, the first question they asked Lami, are you a sedition? Lami said, but then I'm toast. I'm done.
They asked the man, they said,
how you do your interview? The first question they said, are you a sedition? The man said, no, I support the Taiwan government. I said, oh man, put that man outside. I'm going to get a job.
You even know, they asked the man, are you a sedition? You know how you can do it out when you read it? And it's supposed to be sedition? That is it meant for sedition? Is that why you people are saying?
The man said,
for interview, you need to ask us.
We need to elevate the conversation.
The man said, elevate the conversation.
He hold constitution article 10, 11.
No, the master article 6, no, articles 20 and 21, the constitution that govern the LDCC. The person, what you say? The only article we listen to whether you're sedition or you're a sedition, get your ass outside. Oh, my people.
We excuse your French.
Let me start my course.
On the show for a few minutes.
Huh?
Now please stand up on the show for a few minutes.
I know. Y'all put me in the bag and pay me over, man. I ain't singing applause today. I'm looking crazy right now. But seriously speaking, Dr. Richardson, please permit us to proceed.
Go ahead.
No, the issue here, we got to just tell our folks. I told Lamin, I said, listen, Lamin, people will not give it to you. You are my man, Lamin. I like your business. They won't give it to you. So guess what they did? They went to LTA. They gave it to Wilmer Smith, brother-in-law. You know Wilmer Smith is indicted. They gave it to the daughter of the CDC legal counsel chairperson. It's CDC, I said they're crazy. They're not crazy. George Manawia is not crazy. The man got to protect his interest and protect his back. But we got something for you tonight, though. You guys saw the lineup. I think you saw it, right, Gibson? You got it?
I think I did.
All right. So that Richardson, your show. Don't let me take over
No, go
before the
ahead.
floor get
I
fed.
can.
No, if you
You
say
hey,
go ahead, you gotta announce it. Oh.
Jacob.
If you say go ahead, you gotta announce it 3
No,
times.
go ahead.
Stanton, but the Richardson, there
Yes,
is
sir.
something I have. If you can give me 2 minutes to discuss on,
But let's do
it
the
is.
round table. Let everybody give the
Sure,
intro.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do that round table. It's
Let
very
And
Dr.
then
Richardson.
important.
we can start with him so we can know what it juicy.
Yeah, go ahead,
Go
Mo.
ahead. Mo, go ahead.
It is really, really juicy. You know, when Senator Barney was on the show, he talked about Findabundo being rescue mother. And in the true sense, she's actually not a rescue mother, that they, instead of forming an organization or using money to get guys from in the street, from the ghettos, they are using money, giving them money to buy more drugs. I'll tell you what happened over the weekend. There is a ghetto on Gelly Street around the J.L. Gibson School to the graveyard there. That ghetto now is being overseen by Finabundo and Koji. They have given explicit instruction to the DA not to raid that particular ghetto. Finabundo goes there all the time, give the guy money, but that is not even the most interested part. The most interested part is that over the weekend, they organized tournament, football tournament on the street there for the ghettos. Ghetto from the other place, ghetto from the other place. They went there and they played football tournament and they gave winners money. That is the kind of rescue thing she's doing. I don't know how is that going to help the country, but I think what she is doing is helping to grow the number of Zogos in the streets. And the background from which I am speaking is the fact that these guys just need some care. Some of them are tired of being in the street. Yesterday, one of my very close friend, who's like a brother, was walking, doing his normal Sunday exercise, and he saw his cousin. His cousin had run away from the family for the last 10 years. They haven't seen him. Now the guy is right in this Monrovia, changed his name to American. He has become a Zogo. So he saw him. He said, "What, the guy looks like my cousin." He called his name, and he came to him. He was in the dump site picking all the iron to go sell. So he said, "What you been doing? What you been?" The first thing the guy told him, he said, "Oh, I'm even surprised that you call my name, because my thinking is that the whole family has abandoned me and no one cares for me. That's why I'm just in this life. But I'm tired where I want to move from there." And so the guy took in the walk. He said he going to sell his iron. Guess how much the guy went, how much they bought the iron for him for? The iron, what he took his time digging in the dump site and everything, getting $100 liberty. That's what he stole it for. So the man took him, they went to his house, they had a haircut, and he said the family did not abandon you. We've been looking out for you. We can see you everywhere we ask. His name is Abdullah Nye. We can see you. So, he took bath, they gave him food to eat, he wore a decent clothes. So he said, let's go to the house in Chocolate City. When they were going, they passed into the same place. He told a man, say, stop. Let me talk to my man. He got down. And everybody was surprised. Some guys didn't even make it up because you are now in the regular form. And he said, I see you all are leaving the street now, or at least my family came for me. And the man started asking, "Oh, that American here, American, just now you are passing, you're looking different." And he said, "Yeah, I see you, Baba." He went when they were going, he told a man, a cousin, he said, "Oh, I also want $500. Give me $500, let me go pay the person money quick and come." So he said, "No, let's go together, I will pay the money." When he decided to drive with the road, he said, "Cousin, to tell you the truth, I owe anybody $500. But since the money I take anything here, let me just take something small." The man said, "No, when you take the thing, you will not die." So They carry him to the house. They put him upstairs and they put people to be looking at him. That guy ate. He lied down. He slept for the next 1-2 hours. They called his mother. The mother came. Called his brother from England. The mother came and embraced him. And so they are looking after him. They plan to send him to the village so they can keep an eye on him. These are just small things you can do. But when you go, you organize and ghetto tournament. You giving money to the winner. You instructing the DEA not to raid a particular ghetto. You're just increasing the number of Zogos. That is exactly why the number of Zogos have increased in the place. Everybody is insecure now in this country. It's not
Let me
happening.
say this to you, Mo. Thank you very much for bringing this story up, Dr. Richardson. As you always say, we should do this together. I appreciate. Let's moderate together. From what I said, we received information. I don't know, for my own intro, whether you guys follow the MICAT conversation, the press conference they always have. D. Zoga Wilson, the Minister of Youth, he spoke. But something strange in connection to what you are saying, Mo. I would like Dama to please play. We should all listen carefully. I do not want to go off on what Zoka said. But Dama, are you with us? Can you please play the clip, what Zoka said? And that would be my intro concerning the Zogos on the street. You remember that the president said they were raising money, something like $30 million. I think you guys follow it. They had a big program, but something wasn't right. That was a fake something. And Zoka spoke on this. Whether Zoka was right or whether he was wrong, we need to listen to it. Diamond, are you there? Diamond Slanger? All right, so when
And
Diamond
Diamond
comes up,
are the one they sold from Bapolu.
yeah,
No,
but
not
he's
the
back
one.
in studio. Diamond, can you play?
No, he confessed it. No, not the one.
Can you play that if you have it? If you have it ready?
We working on the audio. The quality is not good, so we're looking for a better one. So once I get it done, I will play it.
No, just play what you have. I want to hear. Then we'll talk. What exactly Zoga Wilson said? Then we will get the audio play. Tell us what was said
Okay,
exactly
so-
in connection to this Zogo situation in the country.
So he said they have not received any funding yet, that the government of Liberia is yet to provide any funding for the at-risk youth rehabilitation program, despite the promises that were made during its launch back in 2022. He said the national fund drive worth $13 million United States dollars to empower and rehabilitate young people in need. So during the press conference, he's disclosed that out of that amount, he has been able to raise 28,000 United States dollars out of that amount. Out of the 13 million, they've been able to raise 28,000, and that's that.
And that's a seeking. That's exactly what I want you guys to understand. You guys remember the Ministry of Youth and Sport, President George Manneh, they were looking around calling folks to bring in money for those at-risk youth. And I think, Gibson, you follow that story because that's what you do for a living. We were on the show. They said they were raising $30 million. The Youth and Sport Minister said last week they have not gotten a dime. And this will be my intro as we go through the outline of the conversation tonight, Dr. Richardson. The Youth and Sport Minister, D. Zoga Wilson, from $13 million that President George Biden raised, they put it in a pocket. The money that Samuel Twe, the money that was collected by Gender Minister, the money that was collected, and we will find that clip of that program and show it. The Youth and Sport Minister, Zoka Wilson, telling Liberians tonight that the president lied. It may not be his words, but I'm saying it. The president collected his money for himself and his cohorts. You heard President George Manneh saying that $30 million they were raising to help those folks. Where's the money? The money went in their pocket. And Zoka Wilson, not me, the Zoka Wilson, said they have not. So more Ali, when you're saying these things, right? And people saying, what the government doing? The government exploiting those folks on the street. It's exploitation. The government going after them, using their names, using their condition to enrich themselves. And I know we'll continue on this. Dr. Richardson, go ahead, man.
This subject is dear to my heart in a way that, I've worked with some substance abuser in the past, although that's not my expertise. It really worries me that, Mo said they would be enabling, this the word that we use, enabling the Zokos in the street by giving them, money to go ahead, most likely to buy drugs, because when you're addicted, craving is what you do. You crave for the drugs. And when you have money, you satisfy your craving. So I'm happy that your friend's family was able to take their relative away and provide some sort of help to them. But you need a lot of money. $28,000 is not going to cut it. Okay. And if this president is really serious about substance abuse in our country, he is going to allocate the money. He's going to do more fundraising for that group, because we're playing around with the future of our country. Who are we going to leave Liberia to if we don't get the substance abuse under control right now? Who are we going to leave Liberia to? So yes, the president needs to get engaged and finance a program that will take into consideration counseling, sometimes control some of. If you're really badly on substance abuse, you need to be medicated with methadone or Suboxone to help you, depending on what kind of drug you're on, to help you stop the craving. And housing, vacation, and all of these things are going to be needed for the Zokos. So I think more than $28,000 is not going to cut it. So again, what is the president doing is the question. So we'll go next to who came in. Fagon, your thoughts, and then I'm sorry. Gibson came in before Fagon. Gibson, you go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. I wanted to discuss something. It is something I heard from the grapevine that has to do with Unity Party and the vice standard bearer. I hope Mo Ali will lend some credence or clarify if that is true. I'm told that the Unity Party is pressuring Mr. Kun to join the Unity Party, and their fear, according to one of the high place official who called me from the Unity Party, told me that they are doing that because they are anticipating that Ambassador Boakai may not stay his full term, and if Mr. Kun did not join Unity Party, there's a possibility that Unity Party will not be able to control what happens after Mr. Boakai was gone, and then MDR will be in full control of what happens. So I don't know if that is true. Mr. Mo Ali, I'm saying that because sometimes we say these things, we hear these things, and people will deny. At the end of the day, it comes to fruition. So I don't know if you care to comment on that. You don't have to, because it is not.
No, I can comment. I want to comment.
Yes, thank you.
No. You will not comment on more. We do our intro. Let it go around. You will come back with that later.
Let me clarify quickly.
No. The man doing his speech.
You the moderator.
My man, I'm half moderator. The woman told you already, but right, Dr. Richardson?
Yeah.
Don't hijack the show, Mo. Let the man. Why hurting you? The man talk about UP, you getting angry. Chill.
I'm not getting angry. The message is clarify.
Something that you can clarify later, maybe during the discussion, something like that will pop up, and you can just nail the hammer on the head. That would be great. But look, the issue of Zokos is particularly close to me because my son was mobbed as a result of being called a Zoko. He and somebody were fighting about his girlfriend, and the guy took cutlass and chopped my son on his hand, and my son took the cutlass, chopped him back, and the people mobilized. They started calling him Roll because when he chopped the guy in the man fence, his girlfriend went in the guy fence, and he went to get his girlfriend, young people. And they started calling him Roll. He went and hit himself from the mob. And Sylvester Watt, when he sent me a text message, he said he went to the guy and paid some money for the guy to put him outside, and they mobbed my son to death. So when I hear people talk about Zoko, my antenna is raised because no matter what you do for some of these children, sometimes they like to live.
James, I didn't get it. You said what they did?
Oh, they mobbed him to death. They mobbed him to death. They beat him to death. Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm
And
sorry.
being the media is being the media all along, but when I hear about Zoko, it kind of raised my antenna because not all the children sometimes are called Zoko. Sometimes they are just hustling on the street. And in this particular case, in fact, my son had just called me I think on a Friday, then I sent him $100. He wanted $50 to buy food. I said, okay, let me send you $100, carry $50 to your girlfriend. On the Monday, they called me and said my son was marked to death. And just because he was fighting someone for his girlfriend, the guy was loving to his girlfriend and they were fighting, and Sylvester White, who lived in America, wrote me a text message after my son was killed and said, your son was hiding and we pay money to the person to give him to us. And so I feel so bad as someone who comes from America will even participate in something like this. You should be able to understand the justice system. You cannot be standing in something like that happen. So when I hear about Zoko business, as a matter of fact, my wife and I are in the process of constructing a facility where we have people called Zoko. We have to put it there. We already secured a lot, the 1 acre. We want to put something there so that they can come in and we can help them to detox them. So it's clear to my heart. But Mo Ali, I don't want you to comment on that now. You can do that if you want, but you can do that later. But
Thank you. And again, we want to say half our sympathy, Gibson.
right. Hmm.
I wish you and the family strong up to now, but
Right.
it's something that we have to address every day.
Yeah.
Before we go to Fagon, let me openly say our condolences to Dr. Jada Kennedy. He lost his stepson,
Hmm.
his adopted son. Is on Facebook, and we'll be reaching out to him again. Dr. Jala Kennedy, our condolences to him. We wish the family well and strong. He lost his adopted son in Maryland. Honorable Fagon, please.
Thank you very much. My condolences to you, Gibson.
Yep.
And let me start with Mo Ali. I'll be surprised if you take more than 30 seconds to respond to what Gibson said, other than to say that's not true. There's a difference between a political party and an alliance. The UP is in an alliance with the MDR and other political parties. And someone from down the line will call our esteemed brother and say the man should leave the MDR, which is part of the alliance, and join the UP. If the UP is to come to power, can they come to power without the MDR and the other contributing political parties? Are you suggesting that when the coalition takes over, when George Weah, something happened to him, Jewel must join now the CDC and forget the NPP? We don't want to don't waste our short time with Gibson. Your people that can be calling us spider then, spider lady, they call them, they don't want to be calling, they think they're smart. Okay. 28,000 for outrageous use is what is raised out of
They
13
didn't
million.
ask you to respond. They may ask Mo Ali to respond.
That my opening
that,
agreement.
that,
Why
that
you always like this?
there.
That a Rachel is this not my opening talk? Why you want to talk? You can't hear
Yeah,
you talk.
tell
Why
your
you
own.
want to talk? For
Yeah,
me to
tell
talk,
your
why I
own.
want to talk, you won't restrict me.
Yeah, tell your own. Go ahead, tell your own.
Your best friend Lami is here. Try to restrain him, not me.
But why let me see what that for? Let me see what that dog
Because you feeling making Lami verse.
Let me see what that dog
And before they pull you outside from the interview.
Lami, were you listening to the show?
Let me shut up. Y'all okay my time. I don't even want to talk.
We're not hearing you, Lami. We're not hearing you. Go ahead, Lami, go ahead.
How dog killer again look?
Go to Booster Quarter and Gissy Camp. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't do that of me.
So the first thing you have, Stanton, when you raise this issue about the 28K for outrageous use in connection with what Mo said, all the county meetings they've been having since Jowea took over. Have you ever gotten reports from the county meet? A capacity of 30,000 at the SKD, jam-packed. No ticket that can be less than $100, $300 for the ticket. So just imagine if 30,000 people go on the stadium, one game is that 30,000. And think about all the finals that is played at the SKD and what have you. He ever made report here, his deputy? I just gave you your heads up of what is going on. So I will leave that because I know there is a trial set in 2024 for corrupt officials. I know that in my dream, in my vision and everything. Fina actually going on the street. Fina is promoting her business. Who does not know about the TRH, about Fina Bono and Josh Abijaude, owning the company that brought in the $100 million worth of drugs, and again the $40 million worth of drugs. If you're raising chicken, you gotta feed it. You gotta get a chicken feed for the chicken to grow, so that you can carry it to the market after 6 weeks and sell it. So what Fina is doing is facilitating her business. She and Josh Abijaude, and I can say that because the Liberian government is explicitly involved with drugs. So going to the ghettos and making it functional is a way of what? Facilitating your drugs and on the market and getting your business done. Last but not the least, Dr. Francine made reference to the Daily Observer talking about JMB having to speak to the TRC, since in fact people like Prince Johnson is involved. My best man is my friend. I think what the Daily Observer is doing what every other newspaper has done. But what is most interesting is I think my best man knows that Prince Johnson said on this network that he's open to war crimes court. He's ready any day. So I'm not sure if JMB should continue to say what Prince Johnson, Joshua Bly, and others have said, that they are ready to face the war crimes court. What else can he say? He can just say they have said it already. So I don't have anything to say, because we all look forward to war and economic crime court. Even the people you say running away is coming forward. Now, what people now who can hold it, they don't want to come forward. But the people accused have decided they want it. The Liberian people say they want it. The people accused say they want it. I don't think we should talk about it. We should be looking for the person who will say on day one that definitely they're going to bring it. And JMB have said that the law will take its course. He remains committed to that. And when the time comes in 2024, as President of the Republic of Liberia, JMB will deliver on the mandate that the Liberian people will give him. And that includes everything that they will ask him for in return for giving him the presidency. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister Fagon. We appreciate you. Let's bring in Councillor Lame Pakol. Councillor?
Yeah, thank you very much.
The man's name is Pagoy, not Pakor.
Thank you very much,
I think
sir.
I need to for people to know how to pronounce my name better. You know,
You don't
we'll
pronounce
Eugene,
your name the way it's
we will ask Eugene to pronounce it for you, okay? My
you
friend.
can spell Lami wrong, so you will not be able to pronounce my last name
I
properly.
remember, I see why
How
the people
can you
didn't give
spell
you.
Lami?
I see why the people didn't give you the job. You can't stick to the conversation. Let's move on by.
What job you talking about?
Look at the way the big spelling Lamrr.
What kind of job you talking about, Stanton? Which job?
My man,
The
Fagon came on the
LACC
show
job,
and
you went for interview.
Fagon
They
came on the
asked
show and said you went for interview and they didn't give it to you. That's what Fagon said.
I mean, the men say talking as the people not for me.
No, I applied for the LACC job.
The true story coming up. Go ahead.
They throw paper to you to take it to your opening, man.
I didn't expect that they were going to give it to me.
Why?
I didn't expect they were going to give it to me.
How will you apply for a job and your expectation went low? Why?
The reason is simple. It's a political decision. It's a political decision. So I didn't expect them to give it to me.
So they
You
asked you
applied
if
a lot.
you said no, they pull you out.
Oh, he said they put me outside? No, that didn't happen.
And I said, when you went for the interview, they asked you, are you a sedition? You said no. You said, get up.
No. Nobody asked me that question. Nobody asked me questions about party issues.
Why did they select you?
No, for someone like me who is open with my views on politics, it will not be wise for a government that is known for corruption to choose someone like me for a job like that. That would be a terrible choice, because you'll be almost like shooting yourself in the foot. Nobody will make that kind of mistake. So I went in that process fully knowing that they will not take me.
Let me get we'll get it, we'll put you there.
Oh, I mean,
So
you guys will be doing. If you guys do it, I will hats off to you. If you not even me, just put someone who has a strong view on corruption in that position. And it's not only one person, because I think there are like 7 people. You have to have at least 5 people who have very strong views on corruption in there. Otherwise, it would just be a waste of time. If you're the one person and the other people vote against your position, nothing is going to happen. They have to vote in order to decide what to do. So they're not
Bini,
forced
you
to
get
come to
what I
see.
mean?
Let me proceed with your go ahead with your opening now.
So on it, I was listening to Mo when I was coming in, and I would like to also say sorry to Jeru. I didn't really hear what happened to him, but since everybody's saying sorry, let me say sorry too. You know, so I don't really go and fall off of what happened. So my sympathy to you.
They're like cancel yeah, like why we cancel. So everybody say you are guilty, you are guilty.
No, people telling him I'm sorry now. And my own man, if I tell he's sorry, then it will look bad on my
But I'm thinking about your cancel about you gotta hold on to that. So say everybody say they make guilty, he guilty, you gotta go home.
Oh, you're not guilty. You guys are telling him sorry for something that happened to him, right? Sympathizing with him. And he my own man, if I tell him sorry,
Yeah,
it
so
will look
something,
bad. So
something
No,
terrible
we're telling
happened.
him sorry because he said he's no longer with Gonglo. He wasted his time. So we
You
said,
wasted your time with Gonglo. you bass, is it not true? You already told him that's sorry.
No,
You
so let
already
me
told
hear
him
the
that's sorry.
story.
So
Let me hear the story. He said his son unfortunately was mobbed to death in the past because of this thing. Somebody, yeah, it was a sad story. That's why we're saying sorry to him.
yeah, you know, so I thought to throw my own sorry in there too. Gives you sorry about that, you know. Mob justice, mob violence is a serious problem in this country. And the same thing with the drug issue. More talking about the issue about the person who was rescued from the ghetto, and then Stanton talk about some money that was raised. That what we've been consistent about the anti-corruption issue. The problem that faces the country right now is an ingrained corruption problem. If we don't tackle that problem and solve it, the country going nowhere. So that's the reason why you see somebody will take, you said $13 million, right? Somebody will take $13 million, no account for it. Because there's this desire to take public money and they don't think anything will happen to them. So we have to make it unfashionable for people to decide to go into the public coffers and take money for whatever reason. If they raise money for a particular purpose and that money is not used for the intended purpose, that's an issue of corruption. We should deal with it. The reason why we have all these issues of these at-risk youth, the issue of drug trafficking, the issue of drug use, drug possession, and we got to treat the people who are drug addicts, we got to treat them as victims. The people who are the actual criminals are the people who are trafficking the drugs. So we should try to make the distinction between the two of them. And corruption is our major enemy in this country. We got to treat it. We got to stem corruption out of our country, or at least minimize it to a level that it won't be the order of the day. And that's the only way we'll be able to make progress in this country. So I will start with that opening.
yeah, I don't know what Dr. Rich is saying gone, but we are here. Folks, we have our upline and we got to also have George Solo, Chairman Solo, in as a guest panelist tonight. He will weigh in on the discussion and we can have a wonderful conversation. I know we laugh, we joke, but Liberia deserves better with our conversation. And I respect every one of you. George Soto, thank you for joining us, Chairman Soto. You are muted. If you can unmute, I hope your internet going to serve you right tonight. Can you hear us?
I like the point you're going. I like the I like the point you can you hear me?
Yes, you're good now. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you. Just signal if you can hear me.
But why your video is like that? Are you lying down somewhere?
No, I'm sitting up, sir.
Oh,
All
okay.
And
right, then
that's
that's
not
good.
gonna be the basis of our You can hear me now?
Yes, we
So
can
you
hear
can hear
you.
us.
We can
So
hear
go
you.
ahead, Judge. Go ahead, please. We good.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. The counselor trying to, Gibson trying to throw a joke. Ain't nothing funny happening down here. This country is in a mess. This is not even a country, it's a country's friend. We have no government. Your president is moving in reverse. Instead of going to the mansion, he coming back to Jamaica. The kids don't have school to go to. There's no education. There's no health care. So there's nothing funny about this conversation for me. It's about redirecting our people to where we're going. It's about taking a position on our nation and our lives. So I'm here to have a serious discussion. I'm here to have a real discussion about the status of affairs of our country. Ain't nothing funny to me. And I'm standing up against
Again, the internet problem is a problem. Go ahead, Dr. Richardson.
Yeah, I just want to say that I want to make a disclaimer that the views expressed here are those of the panelists and not of the
I'm standing
network.
up.
Yeah, thank you. Chairman Solo, we still having that internet interruption. It's still a problem. Again, I hope the internet can serve you right, that you can have a wonderful show. I really, really want you on tonight. With our outlines, it will be important that you contribute. You can hear us? Are we clear? Can you hear us?
But he probably should go to the regular telephone.
All right, maybe that will be our last option. So we'll be bringing back George. So let's have to show Dr. Richardson now. You guys read the outline. It's in the chat room. Exactly what we're discussing on tonight. But let me go back. Since I have my time, Dr. Richardson will take the second round of moderating. I'm getting information though. Let's talk about the Zoko and the $30 million. Though it wasn't in our outline, the $30 million and the Zoko. Why you think? Now, I'm going to start with Minister Fagon. Minister Fagon, the announcement was made. The president went to the program. They discussed it with Youth and Sport Minister Zoga Wilson and the entire ministry. And now Zoga Wilson coming up. We have the audio. We'll be playing the audio that they have not received a dime. I will read exactly what he said because it is important. Zoga is my friend. I do not want to go contrary to what he said. You can go there and read it though. Now, this is what happened. Zoga Wilson, the Youth and Sport Minister, has recently announced that the government of Liberia has yet to provide any funding for the at-risk youth rehabilitation program, despite promises made during its launch.
Maybe one of the players ready. Stand on.
Okay, yes, thank you. But man, you gotta come on now. Come on. Let's go ahead. Thank you, Lami. Let's go ahead, Diamond. Play it for our audience.
First question asked me that about the contributions so far that have been made to the at-risk youth project. When the project was launched, we were able to raise a little over 28,000 United States dollars that has been deposited in the UBA bank. Our UN partners have committed $3 million to its contribution, $1 million last year and $1 million this year. And unfortunately, we have yet to receive the amount from the Ministry of Finance. And the question was, how can one contribute? You can contribute by writing a check to the Ministry of Youth and Sports, and we will deposit same into the account for at-risk youth. The other question was for me to.
All right, so guys, we want to get your attention. Have we listen though? You know, when we say these things, people say that we're speaking a crazy talk. I really need your attention, Gibson. You've been in the business so long. I really do. My fellow Liberians, get close to your radio station. I want you to understand this is not Stanton or the Spoon Network. Let's listen to D. Zoka Wilson, Minister of Youth and Sport. It is important that promises were made, monies were collected. That's key. But up to today, what become of the money? Another Simon Twice story and Dr. George Manawea story. Let's play the clip again. Aldama, please.
First question asked me that about the contributions so far that have been made to the at-risk youth project. When the project was launched, we were able to raise a little over 28,000 United States dollars that has been deposited in the UBA bank. Our UN partners have committed $3 million to its contribution, 1 million last year and 1 million this year. And unfortunately, we have yet to receive the amount from the Ministry of Finance. And the question was, how can one contribute? You can contribute by writing a check to the Ministry of Youth and Sports, and we will deposit same into the account for Alrace Youth. The other question was for me to.
Well, I need not to speak further. Former Minister, Deputy Minister, Honorable Eugene Fagon, please take the lead.
Well, Stanton, I know Zoga. Zoga is like a brother to me. So I know him like that, unlike some of the other people. He's always gotten in trouble. You and I know we have beat on him several times, but it's just hard for him to hide the truth that he's one problem he got. He will not come up with everything, but he will come up with some things. You heard him. When someone uses the word unfortunately, meaning there was a fortune, and he said it clear. Unfortunately, we are yet to receive the money from the Ministry of Finance, having previously said that our partners had committed 3 million, one last year, meaning they pay it, 1 million this year, meaning they pay it, and then he went on to say, unfortunately, we have yet to receive the money. Not from our partners, though, from the Ministry of Finance, meaning he said where the money was placed there. What is interesting now is that he goes on, if you want to make a contribution, brother, we don't see the 28,000 here, you're clear it. They poor get you 2 million, you're clear it. Then you acting like witchcraft to say, if you want to write a check to the Ministry of Youth and Sport. I mean, but what does this tell you? What it does tells you is this, that what happened to El Adiro? What happened to Bali Island? What happened to Bomb Technical School? What happened to Asila Meter, 7 million, Birmingham, Western Cluster, 5 million? These people are nothing but a bunch of economic vampires. And they're going to stop at nothing until they see the total destruction of our country. The European Union gave money before to use that money. The road fund money was deposited to clear that money. And now, money is meant to take care of Zogos. It's not being used for the purpose intended, but rather, FINA is facilitating her drug trade in collaboration with Abijade and others who run the TRH, with whom the Americans busted for 100 million drugs and another $40 million worth of drugs. But you are going to the ghetto and promoting a soccer match to get them high on drugs by giving them monies, when monies have been provided for their upkeep, well-being, and treatment. You see where we are? And that is why some of us have decided that because there is a backing for President we are going to support a law enforcement president. And that president is none other than Joseph Numa Boakai. There will be law and order in the country. And I know within myself, whether Lamy likes it, whether Gibson likes it, I don't care. I know Councillor Gonglo will be one of the champions for law and order in the Joseph Numa Boakai administration. And so there are two candidates in this race, Joseph Numa Boakai and George Weah. We have no more. That's it.
Thank you very much. Let me bring in Mr. Gibson. Gerald. Gibson.
Thank you very much. Look, when I hear, I'm not surprised that George Weah and his government will not keep the promises they made to, and the requests they made to bilateral friends and international friends for them to pump money into the Zoko Rehabilitation Fund, because George Weah had never learned how to even keep his promises in the first place. If you realize, George Weah, during the COVID time, he promised the people that there was going to be rest distribution. That rest, I don't know if anybody received that rest. At the end of the day, it died down. George Weah set up a committee to look into whether it is possible now to appoint any management team to the Liberia Petroleum Authority. The committee came out and told him it was not necessary. There should be a complete overhaul of the entity before appointing people, but he didn't wait. He appointed immediately a manager in that position. He also failed to investigate when he told the Liberian people that he was suspending, he was removing Maggie and others from the position, and he was going to order their investigation. As we speak today, I'm not sure if Joshua is even going to temper with investigating Maggie and others who were nabbed by the Manisky document. And if you also remember that what I wanted to say is it not even expedient since you're building stadiums, is it not possible that you build one structure, one massive structure in place of one of these stadiums and put and make it as a facility for people, rehabilitation of people we call Zogo today, put them in there, create a mechanism where they can learn how to do something like plumbing, they can do the carpentry, they can do all of these things. Is it not possible for the government? The government is not interested in doing that because they want to use the Zoko politics as a way to re-elect themselves. Oh, we are going to rehabilitate the Zokos. But what Mr. Joga Wilson has said, if the Liberian people look at it very carefully, it is a failure, not just a failure, a lie to the Liberian people that they were going to participate, they were going to take actions on certain things. And unfortunately, in using Zoka's words, the finance minister will always be in the way of things happening in the country. So this is it's a disgrace, and it's using the Zoko's name to enrich themselves. And I think this is bad. You can't use Zokos and make money, and the money you get, you can't use it for their upkeep. So I think it's just it's a bad public relations stunt at the time, and it is even worse now that Zoga Wilson has exposed them.
Wow. Mo Ali, let's stick with this Zogo's conversation real quick because I can say to you, it's out there. On July 2022, President Weah did he announced he had a big program and they were looking to raise 13.9 million United States dollars. 13, we got to be exact. 13.9 million United States dollars. We played a clip from Zoka Wilson. Money came in. Samuel Tua and the president refused to give the money to the youth and sport minister. Talk to us, Mo.
So I am going to look at this from a very different angle and holding all of those responsible. Firstly, in this country, we act like we are forced to be in the job, even if you're not being supported, and even if something will happen that will make you to be ineffective in the job. So for people like Zoga Wilson, they sit there, money comes, they don't get the money, but they can resign to show some degree of integrity. So I don't care about that his complaint he's making. If he's really sure he wants to be factual to himself, he wants to be real with himself, resign the position. To tell the people that you are protesting, you go to any press conference, unfortunately. Now let me tell you the other part. You know why I detest the UN system? They are so damn corrupt. You cannot be spending money and you have no system of M&E put in place. Normally, the reason why they give this money in trench is because you want to monitor the expenses that are being made as against what was projected, your target. You pledged $3 million. You gave the first 1 million. You see nothing. The money is intended to go through the Ministry of Youth and Sports. The UN system that is giving the money, they didn't see anything. They didn't even go to monitor or to evaluate from the Ministry of Youth and Sport to monitor from them. Did you receive the first $1 million? What did you do with it? Where are some of the disadvantaged youth that were rehabilitated through the system? Nothing. You get no report. Sametra did not give them the money. You spend the second one. What it tells me is that money, they put it there, they have a check mark, they have their paper. Did you get the money yet? They lie to the people. They make fabulous report in collaboration with the Ministry of Finance. Those who in charge of that money, they sit down along with the Ministry of Finance, they take their call, Ministry of Finance take their call, the presidency take their call, and that's why you hear nothing about it. You, Stanton, any of us on this show, you cannot spend that kind of money. You give the first tranche, you don't receive report. That's what I would think. Because if they were monitoring, if they were evaluating what they were spending, they would have heard from Zoga Waiting, the unfortunate Zoga Waiting. He would have told them that, look, since you gave the 1 million last year, we haven't got it. But they didn't do it. So that money was just there for the men in the UN system and the Ministry of Finance and the president to sit down and divide it. They eat it, and at the end of the day, Zoga Waiting have the press conference and say, unfortunately, we haven't got it. The men eat the money. The UN system cannot be exonerated from this. They are all equally corrupt.
All right, let me bring in Councillor Lamin Bakov. Councillor, can you let's just restrict this to this problem raised by Zoka Wilson, please.
I come back to the issue of corruption. Till we can solve our corruption problem in this country, we'll be making no progress whatsoever. That's the only reason. Okay, let's even assume, and sometimes international organizations like the UN, the different organs will have excess money that they need to use. If they don't use those monies, a lot of times their budgets get reduced. So when they have the kind of free money around, they will just throw it at problems. So, but let's even assume that was the situation, right? And they gave the money to the government for the government to use for a specific purpose. Even without UN monitoring and evaluation around that particular expenditure, there should be no reason why that money should disappear. That money should disappear without accountability. We have to always focus on our issue of corruption. If we can solve our corruption problem, we'll be probably able to solve 75% of this country's problems. And that's what we have to focus on. We need to hold people accountable for doing wrong things. I mean, whoever used that money, I don't know, $13 million or whatever it is, whoever used that money inappropriately, even if they took that money and pay other people that it wasn't intended to pay, that person must be held to account when the law and order candidate comes to power. And the only law and order candidate in the election right now, I would disagree with my namesake, who doesn't spell his name correctly. I would disagree with him. The only law and order candidate in the elections presently is Councillor Tiawan Gonglo. So when Gonglo comes to power, Gonglo will hold people to account. And as I said the last time, if they ate the money, we made them vomit the money. You will not keep it. We'll go after you. If it means you'll go bankrupt, but you will not keep your loot. The reason why people continue looting in this country is that they've seen other people keep their loot. So we'll make sure we'll go after all the loot, starting with the immediate past people, because for them, they can claim statute of limitation. We'll start with them, and we'll go as far back as we can go using the law. We'll not step outside the four corners of the law, but we need to make sure we focus on our anti-corruption issue. Every single person running for office right now, apart from the people who are in power, should focus on the fact that anti-corruption should be the number one objective to put the country on track and make people afraid to do wrong. That's what we need to do.
Thank you, Dr. Richardson.
Yeah, it's really interesting to me that Zuka Wilson will kind of now be honest with Liberian people. In the past, he sort of has supported the president, and so all of a sudden, we are seeing him now say, we haven't gotten any money for the at-risk youth. So something's going on with this government. I think we need to sort of keep our eyes open that someone like Zuka Wilson is now sort of for lack of a better word, defecting. He's talking. He always, to me, has protected George Weah to a certain extent. I want to just also add that, I know my brother Fagon and my other brother, Lami, Councilor Lami, thinks that Vice President Joseph Boakai or Tiawan Gonglo can really rule this country and address the Zogo problem, but I really believe that there's no platform that addressed the heart and minds of the Liberian people. Mr. Cummings' platform does that. And in order to address the Zogo's problem, we really have to engage the hearts and minds of the Liberian people. It goes beyond just putting in psychosocial services, is also putting in legal systems in place. Is also addressing counseling the Zogos on a regular basis and putting the money where it should go, which is caring for the Zogos compared to what is happening now. Just having a tournament and touching the Zogos on a like one time a month or 2 times a month basis is not going to it's not going to support anything. You will see that Finambono, from what I understand, is having this tournament that she does. I don't know how often she does it, but to me, that is enabling as opposed to supporting a clean Zogo, which means when I say clean Zogo, I mean a Zogo without drug problems.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richard saying. You know, what you guys are speaking is out there, it's on the internet, Fagon. Folks, let me say this. This is very, very wickedness. This is complete wickedness. These people will go and lie to our partners, lie to UNDP, lie to UN, lie to IMF, bring the money in, and they will eat the money uselessly. If this president, George Manawia, also promised 11 months ago to raise $100 million. 100. This president, about community engagement. He will work with the IMF and the World Bank partners. The first money that came in, the weapon, and nobody can talk about that no more. It's out there. Anything that has to do with money. Senator and George Manawia, you know exactly what happened. Folks, I understand what you are saying, Mo Adi, and you and Fago saying the same thing. Zoga Wazin, take the blame. I agree. But did you listen to what Zoga Wazin said? I wish we can have George Soto on the show. Hey, man, I told Georgie to go to the internet, but I mean to go to the office. I don't know what happened. Listen, you listen when Ministers Diesel said they sent the fuel 1 bill last year. We didn't see it. They whip it. They send the second one. They whip it. Then he telling you, say, go and write your check. To get a who? To get a cemetery? So the Liberian people need to ask themselves the question, where is the money? Anything have to do with money that fall between cemetery and John Manor where you will not find it. It gone. What's the money? Are you telling me that Diesel said will raise little over $28,000? Hey man, the big money, they kept it. The small money, they say you can keep that one Diesel. That 28,000, you can keep it. Can we play this thing one more time? Those that just joining us, I want them to hear and hear very well what's happening. When President George Manor, we are June 30th, 2022, promised the Liberian people that we're looking to raise, we will bring $13.9 million. If you get that clip, Damo, please play it. But please, Zoka Wilson, one more time. Then we'll go to the next conversation.
First person asked me that about the contributions so far that have been made to the at-risk youth project. When the project was launched, we were able to raise a little over 28,000 United States dollars that have been deposited in the UBA Bank. Our UN partners have committed $3 million to its contribution, $1 million last year and $1 million this year. And unfortunately, we have yet to receive the amount from the Ministry of Finance. And the question was, how can one contribute? You can contribute by writing a check to the Ministry of Youth and Sports.
Dr. Richardson, did you hear him saying, unfortunately, they have not received the money? The UN partners promised to bring in 3 million. They already gave 2. My fellow Liberians home tonight, your sons and daughters on the street, they call them Zogos. People from international communities trying to help. They're raising the money just to clean them. Guess what happened? The money come in, Samuel eat the money. The president went out and said, let's raise 30 million, 13.9, but you know the money wasn't for them. It was for George Manor. We are in Samuel. And here we are, Liberians. We're seeking help. People out there want to help us, but our own government abusing, exploiting, and they're using these circles now to enrich themselves. Shall we move on? May the Lord watch between us as we ask of him for a better Liberia. May God look down on Liberia. May God look down on Liberia, because this is everyday thing. We have to move to the next conversation. Gibson, you go last. You go last, Gibson. Go ahead.
Yes, just for 10 seconds. I will beat on Zoga Wilson, but not much. I think Zoga Wilson is mustering enormous courage to criticize from within. The same thing Mr. Fagon did, and he was dismissed. This is the same thing that Zoga has done. I don't know if they will dismiss Zoga for that, but what Zoga is doing, he's putting the government on the pedestal. He's telling everybody that the government made promises and they cannot keep the promises. And he is asking for donation from ordinary people to make donation, which is a travesty, because, like you said, they lie and solicited money from the international community, from partners, and yet the first 2 million to 3 million that came, and you cannot even commit $50,000 for that program. This is just a shame, and that's the lies that they continue to do. And that's how they call it the BM government. Somebody told me the other day, say, my man, that BM government will take that BM government away, and I think that's what's happening right now. Just for that 10 seconds, please.
Go ahead, Diamond. Show this thing for us to move to our next conversation for today. You see President George Manor, we are at Rick's Youth. You remember June 30th, 2022? He was in red. You know what the red stand for, right? He was in red. Everybody came around. There he is, Zoga Wilson. There they are. They were about to raise $13.9 million. You recognize anyone here, Mo Ali? Honorable Fagon, you recognize anyone with the exception of Zoka and the president? That is, they were trying to raise the money, though.
The public works minister is standing right next to Zoga, and the other person's picture is not too clear, but that would be the public works minister right there standing next to him. And next to her, I wouldn't, because he's not clear. And the one to his immediate left, I'm sure would be somebody that's working with the at-risk youth. I don't know who the ambassador over there, but I'm sure it's one of our foreign partners. But besides that, there's no other high dignitary over there. Well, the people you see in the background, the reason why you see the photo like that is because
keep the photo up, please. Keep the photo up.
That was standing behind them.
Yes.
Yeah. So Public Works Minister Zoga Wilson, along with the president. I don't know why he wore a red suit.
But I still now the red suit. Can you put the other picture up, folks? If you follow the Spoon Network, you can find us on Super and on Fabric. And we're going to say this. I will take this opportunity to tell you this is the president, Dr. George Manor. We are at Rick's Youth Zogos. He's in red, and they put the Zogos in red. The word Zogo is in red. You know exactly what happened. The money that was coming was never going to go to Zogos. $13.9 million. I don't know whether that is Zogo or whether the president Zogo, whatever it is, both are in red. I'm confused here. But the $13.9 million wasn't going to them. Zoga Wilson said, he said it today, last week. The people ate the money. The people ate the money. Simple. Say what you want to say.
And the sad part about it is that he said they committed $3 million. They gave the first $1 million. And they gave the second million, they gave the first million last year, they gave the second million this year, and up to now we have not received, unfortunately, we've not received anything. 4 months to elections, you're getting out of power. You've eaten even the zogo that money they give, you eat it.
Yeah, you see, let me say this. Thank you very much, Diamond. We appreciate you. 13.9 million. Zoka just only kept the 28 million for the ministry. Councilor Lamy, Dr. Richardson. But when the BB1 came, Senator said, no, don't touch it.
28,000, not 28 million.
28,000, thank you. Zoga kept the 28,000, thank you very much. But when the million started rolling in, Gibson, Senator said, how dare you touch it? The president got to take a trip. How dare you to come touch the money? And the money belongs to the people. But we got to move on, though. We got to move on.
I can bet you the 28,000 is not available. You want to put money on it? At least $1?
Well, we can have that conversation later because I know why you want to put money on it. We can announce right now to everybody starting next week, the Honorable Eugene Lamy Fagon will have his piece on Spoon Talk, on Super, on Fabric from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Liberian time. The Honorable Eugene Lamy Fagon will have his own show. I don't know the name of the show. He will talk about it. Liberian time will be 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. And then from there, he will come back to John Spoon Talk. And that will be 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. the United States Eastern Time. Folks, I want to give you this. It's election season. The Honorable Eugene Lamy Fagon will have his own podcast, his own show. Say what you want to say on all 3 networks, all 3 social outlets, everything with other folks that will be relaying the program. Honorable Eugene Lamy Fagon will have his own show starting next week, Monday, on this Spoon Network. It will be from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Liberian time, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. the United States time. He will be the only person. I don't know how he turned to carry this thing. He worked this deal out with the CEO, Madam Titi Cannon. We can announce to you, the Honorable former Deputy Minister of Information, Press and Public Relations will have his own show starting Monday. Guys, let's welcome Honorable Eugene Lamy, and we just can't wait for his show. I want to say thank you, brother. I'm out of no clapping, Gibson. Are you mad? We gotta come on, Mo Ali. We gotta congratulate our brother here, man. It's impossible.
I will definitely tune in. Because I will
Yes. He will be in Morovia. He will have his own show from the studio. Everything for 2 hours. Eugene, I have to give that announcement before we move forward. Talk to us.
Well, thank you very much. And thank you to all of the panelists, especially Dr. Francine, who, when your children abandoned her and left her to perish on this platform, she stood the test of time. Your buddies, the one you are carrying to Florida, Minnesota, you're giving them Padam, all I want. Do you imagine the show even style you are getting fired up? But I want to say a special thank you to her. I want to pay my respect to her. When everything fell apart, like a woman will always do, she stood the test of time. Just alone, she carried this platform on her shoulders. I later joined her, and together we were able to keep this platform alive, and the intent of the devil was driven back to hell. We fought a brave fight, and today we have the platform as still the #1 platform in the country. I hope that one day, whether Joseph Numa Boakai will honor her for her bravery and her astute perseverance when the platform of the Liberian people was being hijacked and there was an attempt to destroy it, that she will be given the honor that she deserved for keeping the voices of the Liberian people afloat. Having said that, I'd like to extend.
But real quick, I gotta interrupt you though. Again, the CEO told me. The CEO told me I should tell the Liberian people, you work it out, you pay for your own 2 hours, and therefore any network, any political party want to come and do their own show, they can reach out to her. She even extended this thing to Dr. Richardson. I don't know whether Dr. Richardson will find her own hour or 2 hours. But go ahead, Honorable Fagon.
How much the amount? You're just announcing. We can pay it right now.
My man, if I gonna do his thing, if I gonna go ahead, bro.
I would like to extend my thanks and appreciation. It's a long time coming. We've been negotiating this deal for, I think, about 2 months and a half, almost 3. I got frustrated at one point in time. I said, probably when I leave Spoon Talk, then they will get serious to give me my own show. Because at the time, my frustration was, by the time Dr. Francine finished talking, then Salematu finished, 3 minutes at 6. Then Asif Atuba finished, that 9. Then Remy Gray finished, that 12. Then UJ Fadiga finished, that 15. I was talking every 15 minutes. And then when I want to some time, they would just push me in the back. So I was getting frustrated, but we kept it going. I mean, it was so interesting. And we negotiated for 3 months, and finally, they granted me the 2-hour slot. My thanks and appreciation to Madam Titi Kane for the opportunity. I did this in 2017. Mo Ali and others were crying, but thankfully we are on the same side. But I don't want to use the same name again. So beginning today, in my inbox, on my podcast, everywhere, the Liberian people will choose the name they want for the program. I don't want it to be Liberian Talk. I don't want it to be the intelligentsia. I don't want it to be facts versus fiction. I want the Liberian people to choose a new name so that we can turn a new page. On that note, having said that, I'm also pleased that during those negotiations, Gibson and Lamy, I was able to negotiate with the Spoon Talk former CEO to be my first guest and to tell it all. To tell it all. And finally, thanks to his darling wife, thanks to his legal team, it tells you that my show will start on a very fiery note. For 2 hours, on Monday of next week, I will have the former CEO of the network, the man who gave the Liberian people a platform and a voice, to break his silence and finally tell it all. From the beginning of his birth to his growing up as the man they call Baby Ego, to the point of investing in the people of Liberia, building them a platform and having them say that God can bless anyone, to his legal issues. Nothing will be left out. I'm coming to him with full force to tell it all, and he has consented to tell everything, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, from the beginning of his birth to his involvement in politics, to his help to the Liberian people, to his current legal battles, as the people may request to know, all the way through. We have also agreed that he will have only 10 minutes break, 5 minutes in the first hour to have a drink of water, chill and relax, and then another 5 minutes in the second hour. I'll be ably assisted by Diamond Slanger, and I will be pulling videos and other things out like I always do. Next week, Monday, if you are around, tune in as we make the debut of the show that is going to be named by the Liberian people. Subsequently, other people will be invited. I'm lining up guests because from the time the fire starts, it's not going to end. Perhaps my second guest will be Jeremiah Kuhn. It could be my second guest, could be Gonglo. My second guest could be Kumis. It does not matter. It will be professional. It will not be partisan, because the Liberian people deserve to know the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And I am committed to that. If the person chooses that I send the questionnaire to them, I will do 25 questions, and you in turn will take 10 from the public on the show. I will give it to you, but I will make follow-up questions. And if you agree, I'll give you 25 questions. So with that, I want to thank you, former CEO. I want to thank the current CEO. And I want to thank Dr. Francine Chinowit specifically for keeping this platform alive. And that is why I say I'll do my show. And after that, I'll be a contributing panelist to this show if she needs me, and if she really wants me, whenever she calls upon me, I'll be there. If she wants me to moderate for her, I will continue. Is talking my art? No. It's just a blessing. After the elections, then God usually slows me down. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, the Honorable former Deputy Minister Eugene Lamin. For God, we want to say congrats to you.
Just say something quickly. If he leaks the questions to anybody, you should take that show from him.
Oh,
Because if somebody wants to be, yeah, yeah, seriously speaking, no, we gotta be serious here. If somebody wants to be leader and the person doesn't know how to answer questions, you gotta send it to them first for them to study.
I think
Then
you,
that's why I
Councilor
just said
Lamy,
to you, I will give
this
Councilor
leader,
you
Lamy,
25
Councilor
Five.
questions
Lamy,
with the
I
option
see
that I
move,
follow
Fagon.
up.
Fagon,
don't send
Councilor
no question
Lamy,
to anybody. No
as he
spying.
move on, you guys will be able to talk to Minister Fagon as he move on. But the first date of the
Somebody
show
said the
will
show this
be
should be Lami
will
Monaka.
be
No, they
so
did not.
the first day of the show will be Monday. Fagon will
No
be doing
spying.
5 days a week. We want to say to you, it will be on 5 days a week from 3 p.m. Liberian time to 5 p.m. Liberian 3 to 5 p.m. Liberian time. That will be 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. the United States Eastern time. And understand, Fagon is not leaving the Spoon Talk. And I myself, I will probably not be on the Spoon Talk or back in and out, but the Spoon Talk is led and will be moderated by the lead moderator, Dr. Francine Chinaway. With all due respect, I want to say thank you very much, Dr. Francine.
Let me
You can
ask a
have whatever
question.
time, you can have
Let me ask a
whatever
quick
time you
question.
want. You can have whatever time you want if you choose to, but we appreciate you on the Spoon Talk. We want to say thanks to Gibson, thanks to Mo Ali, thanks to Councilor Lamy, and thanks to everyone that come in to make this show one of the biggest and the greatest. We'll give you the chance to ask questions. We'll go to Dr. Richardson,
Yeah,
then we'll move on to our conversation.
just one simple question about the timing. He will be on 3 to 5, and when the Spoon Talk comes on.
8. Sponsor is 8 p.m.
Okay, it changed to 8 p.m. now. Okay.
Yeah, it's always 8 p.m. That will be 4 p.m. our time. And Liberian time is
Oh,
8
okay,
p.m.
I got
I
it.
know,
Okay, that's Liberia time you're
yeah.
talking about. Okay, I got it. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. So again, I would say, and the flyer will be out shortly, and Minister Fagon will put out his flyer shortly. Guys, I want to say, listen, this is it. I'm happy to hear it, and it was said to me today. Manatiti come and say, Minister Fagon get a slot, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Liberian time, and that will be powerful. Trust me, Dr. Richardson.
Yeah, I just want to congratulate Mr. Fagon. Although we are opposing ideology people, and but he definitely brings animation and his point of view to the issue. So I think you're going to have a wonderful show. And I really thank you for also stepping up to the plate to bring another side of the story to oppose me to be diverse, because this is what Spoon Talk is about, the diversity of all of our opinions that will land in the thoughts of Liberians so that they can make informed decision about our country. So thank you, Mr. Fagon, and I wish you all the best on the show. I know you're not leaving; you'll still be here. Uh, but thank you very much.
Thank you. Mo Ali, you want to chime in on this one? Fagon News Show?
All right. You know, the part he said, we're crying 2017. We're not crying. We can we can hold
They were
our
not
tongue.
crying, the tear was just dropping.
No, no. But anyway, let me say, at least we have an alternative to listen to. We already have another show, who says they are the biggest thing on radio at that time. So now you'll be competing. We have two. Now we're going to have the Eugene show. People already started suggesting him, nothing but the truth. I hope you will live up
One
to
of the
the
neon
billing.
let it say, call it the Bimo show.
I hope you will live up to the billing, in as much as we want show to praise our candidates, we also want those same show to critique our candidates, to bring balanced view. My observation is that when you have a show that just praises one person all the time, no diverse view, even the people you are praising, they lose interest in the show. They look for places, they look for shows where they will be critiquing their candidates so that they can be able to respond, they can be able to participate in the debate. Because that's when you know whether your candidate is strong or not. So we will appreciate for all of the presidential candidates, representative candidates, senatorial candidates to be critiqued and then people will be able to come on the show, defend their positions, defend their policies and everything, so that we can have a balanced show and have a more holistic view and opinion from the people of Liberia. So I want to say congratulations, and we'll be listening to your show. And if we are called upon, we will make appearances. Thank you.
Thank you very much, folks. Let's just go back to our discussion. I'm so happy that our dear friend, Honorable Eugene Lamin Fagon, the man that gave me a hard time, right? He asked me not to disclose his location. I believe he's in Liberia right now, but I won't disclose his location. I want to say he's not in Tennessee. I'm tempted to announce it, but I will stay with my own corner. But let me say this, please. It is very important that the Eugene program that Kamel is paid for, and he's doing everything possible to take this thing past election inauguration. So we appreciate you, and the Liberian people will give you the chance to listen to you.
And I will be looking for sponsors. I will be looking for help. If you don't help me, you don't sponsor me, then don't be beating me. Why not there today? Why not there tomorrow? Don't ask me that question. Why not there? Don't be like Lami Pago, are older than him. Lamini Warete older than him. We were having a need before he came on earth. Then he said we spell our need wrong. Because he spelled with double R to the end. Lamr. If you put
all right, guys. So let's keep the name thing, and then let's move to our next. Let's move to our next conversation. There's a situation.
At the end of the day, I have to give a judgment on the spelling of the name to say who's spelling it right and who's spelling it wrong.
Oh,
please tell us your authority to do that.
No, the message at the end of the day. The message at the end of the day. I beg you. Let's do this real quick. We received information from the representative George Bodie. Okay, it's very important. I want us to discuss this. Representative George Bodie Dama, can you come on the show and highlight us about this information we're receiving concerning Representative George Bodie while you put up the news outline? Dama, can you do that? What's going on with George Bodie and the UPP folks? What's going on, Dama?
A morning palaver going on between the former UPP partisan and his former party, the United People's Party, UPP. This has got to do with 10,000 United States dollars debt, according to the court document. And in fact, the debt court has ordered that the chairperson of the UPP, Madam Susan Lopu Mator, the national vice chair for recruitment and mobilization, Mr. Emmanuel Quite, and the national vice chair for youth affairs, Reverend Cla Mo, amongst others, have been ordered to be arrested by the judge of the debt court at the Temple of Justice in Monrovia, Honorable James E. Jones, for refusing to pay 10,000 United States dollars to the former member, Dr. George E.S. Boley. So this ruling, this arrest was made on the announcement was made on June 2nd, 2023. And the case stems from the fact that Dr. Boley had filed a complaint on October 2nd, 2020, that he said he credited the UPP the amount of 10,000 United States dollars to pay the NEC requirement for elections. So they had to pay in 3 months' time. And since the party did not have the money, he then, through the chair lady of the executive committee and all officials, he gave them the money, and they have refused to pay his money back. So he wants his $10,000 that he gave to the party, and they should pay his money. So now those executives of the party have been ordered to be arrested by the judge of the court so that they can pay his $10,000 CEO.
So thank you very much, Dama. Stay tuned. Thank you very much. Dr. Richard saying, Representative George Bodie, former party members, he's suing them. What say you? Oh, he has sued them, and now he's supposed to get 10,000, and they are going to arrest them. You are muted, Dr. Richardson.
Oh, Dr. Richardson.
I don't know if I have an opinion about this, except I would like to know, what is contributing to this conflict within the party. I know that Mr. Bullitt lost his election. I don't think he still is representing the people of District 2 in Grand Jita.
He
No,
still
he
is.
is.
He
He's
is.
a
Still is.
representative. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought I read that. Okay. Well, I want to know what's contributing to the conflict then. So he's
Thank you, Dr. Richards. It's kind of confusing though. Is he still with the party, Dama?
No, he's not.
Which party he belongs to now?
I don't know his current party. This information I'm yet to gather. I sent him a text message as well.
You reached
But
out to him.
I reached out to him. I called him
Gotten
several
a
times. No,
reply.
I sent him a text
Let
message.
bring in.
Uh,
Thank you.
let him know.
Let bring in Honorable Fagon. Fagon, your man, Georgie Bole, representative man. He going after his former partisan and saying that I need my money. What say you, brother?
Well, Stanton, you are a businessman, and you are not just an ordinary businessman. You are a high-level business person, a great entrepreneur, a wonderful CEO that has built an empire. Let's look at it from your perspective. You spend your money and no returns. I go to a party believing that they have a political ideology and a platform. Perhaps the ideology they subscribe to is conservatism or liberalism, or they find themselves with some form of libertarianism. And at the end of the day, they turn out to be something different. And this nationalist idea that probably we preach, or conservatism, or whatever with the political ideology, I give you a critical example, would be the late Daniel Cassell. May his soul rest in peace. When he was alive, he was very clear that he will never join the CDC because they are corrupt, they have failed the Liberian people, they've done the Liberian people injustice. Before he was even buried, they sold his party to the CDC. Now, Bole has been one of the chief, if you like, financier and supporter of the UPP. Imagine you are subscribing to a progressive ideology under the canopy of that of Bacchus Matthews. And for all intensive purposes, there's absolutely no way in the world you can align yourself with the Congress for Democratic Change or the Coalition for Democratic Change, so to speak. So when the guys took the UPP over to the coalition and sold it, the vast majority of the partisans, who for the most part are progressives, decided to walk away. And Bole, who is one of the chief financiers or sponsors, if you like, of the party, is not only walking away, he's requiring of them his investment that they borrowed. And as such, he wants his money back. Who wants to invest without the proper returns? You as a CEO will not do that. And so he invested his money on the progressive ideology. Gibson and myself and others, we were the guys following the progressives at the time. We know what they stand for. And for you to take a progressive party, such as the UPP, and take it over to the CDC, you have gone above and beyond. And as such, Bole had no choice but to bring them back to book. And many of the progressives have taken similar actions. And that's what you see happening. You are muted.
So let me bring in Gibson. Gibson, before I go to Mo Ali and the councillor, you think this is something good? George Bode is on the right path?
First of all, George Bulling has a right to sue for his death, but I want to take it from another perspective. I want to look at the legal premise under which the arrest is being ordered. I have with me here the Liberia, the Judicial Law Title 17 Liberian Court of Law revised, approved May 10, 1972, that is being used currently by the Debt Code, which authorizes the Debt Code to powers and jurisdiction. It says here that the Debt Code jurisdiction is a civil one. So that brings me to a question. In civil matters, well, I didn't do Liberian law, but mine studied of paralegal under Rule 4 of the rule of court or civil procedure, arrest warrant. The only way a person in a civil matter can be arrested if they committed a criminal offense. But in criminal matters, usually it's not about arrest. It's about money payment. And if the court orders that George Bulley has a reason or right, or he is right in suing, and these people are liable, I think the court will order that a restitution be made, payment be made. If the person that is supposed to pay refuses to pay, George Bulley will have to go back to court and do attachment. And I believe I read a story, there was an attachment. The attachment has to do with seizing the offices of the organization. But there are two things here we need to look at. The individuals who may have signed for the money and the party for which the money was given. There are two individuals altogether. Who did George Bulley give the money to? Did he give it to the party? And if he gave it to the party, the individuals cannot answer for the party's crime. So I am a little bit confused here. I'm not a lawyer, and I think those who are lawyers can weigh in on this, but I'm still confused why these people should be arrested. Why not close down the offices of the United People's Party? And in this attachment that was filed by George Bulley, because I saw some arrest, something like attachment was fired. If the attachment was fired, close down the offices, they cannot operate. But why do you arrest them? What criminal offense that was committed? Because under the civil procedure,
Thank you.
Yeah, under the civil procedure.
I believe that I believe when I consider that Councillor Lamy, but you're quite correct. So we need to know more to this story because we have other stories. Let's just run through. Mo Ali, before we get to the Councillor Mo Ali, go ahead.
Yeah, just to clarify, when I was Secretary General, Jerome, there was some debt issue. Somebody credited on behalf of UP. They didn't pay. They took computers. They didn't pay without the consent of the party. The person carried the party to court. They came to arrest me and the chairman. The magisterial court in Broadview sent the sheriff to arrest us. They can arrest you. Whether they will go put you in jail or not, I don't know. But let me say this. To this debt issue you are asking, there is a strict rule and law from the NEC that every political party needs to have a balance of at least $10,000 US or its equivalent to continue to operate. So every September, NEC does evaluation or monitoring or check on the accounts of all of the political parties. You submit it and it will do. So most of the political parties, especially the ones that are not as big as the other ones, they most times do not have the money in their accounts. So when that time is coming, NEC will inform you, we will do checkup on you at this time. It starts in September. So when that time is coming, they can go to some of the partisans and say, you know what, NEC is coming to do the balance check of our account. Can you give us this money? We deposit it. And after the checkup, we'll withdraw the money and give it back to you. I believe that is what happened in the case of Dr. Bulley. So because he was a member. Now, yes, Dr. Bulley's crime, because I spoke with him the other day, we had a discussion. He's from Grangida. He's a representative. Grangida, on the average, at a rate of no other country has supported the CDC like no other country in this country at a percent rate, right? And he is from there. In every election, they will get at least 85 or 90%. Dr. Bulley said, this country has been the least affected in terms of development since the CDC took over. The least, one of the least. They've not benefited anything from the CDC government, despite the massive support they gave them. Now, he took his money, they deposited it in their account in order not to be decertificated, because if you don't meet that requirement, NEC will decertificate your party. This is the party they took. Instead of remaining, like Eugene said, a progressive party, they took it and sold it to the CDC. Now the CDC has money. They got the government got money. So you can give them $10,000 back, and the government will give you more money. The CDC will give you more money. This is where the problem is coming from, because Representative Bulley does not agree with them taking the party to the CDC. So that's why he's requesting for money. Since they now are in bed with the CDC has more money. The CDC can easily give them the $10,000. to deposit in the party's account so that they can fall a foul with the neck. That's where the problem is coming from.
Is he not supporting
And
CDC
30
as of
seconds.
today? Is he still supporting CDC?
No, he is not supporting
he's not.
CDC. That's why he's
Hold on 1
angry.
minute. We are getting message from Dama Slanger. That's why he coming back. Dama, talk to us before we bring in the rest of the guys. Go ahead.
So we have an insider, somebody who was there when this money business was negotiated.
Uh-huh.
He was there and he wants to just throw a
Bring the
little
person
insight.
in. That's why I like but spoon talk. Let's talk
So
to
let's
that
bring
person.
Mr. Trobert on, and he's going to tell us what really transpired about this whole 10,000 United States dollars issue between Representative
They
Dr.
give
Bole
a man money.
and the UPP. Hello, Mr. Trobert. You live on Spoon Talk. Please introduce yourself.
How you doing, Mr. Slanger?
I'm fine. Just kindly introduce yourself to the panelists and everybody else listening.
Okay, my name is Lasoncia Roland Trobel, a member of the United People's Party, a former vice chair for political affairs.
Welcome. So this entire money business, how did it come about, sir?
Well, it's just unfortunate that it's gone this way, but it all started off on a good footing. Like you already said, we had some financial problem, meeting up with the NEC requirement, NEC compliance. So we were here and there looking for money. You know, we the progressive, we are not some of the richest people among people in Liberia. So to rally up 10,000 United States dollar was a serious problem for us. So Honorable Bole, being our only representative in the house, we went to him and then requested of him if he could borrow us this money, which he did. But then to raise the money again became problem. And you know, somebody giving you a whopping 10,000 United States dollar is not just chicken change. We had to pay back. It was a loan. It was not a donation to the party. So it have just overstayed. So I think he has gone out of patience. It's unfortunate that he has to take the route he took, but that's his money. He has all right to do what he has to do. But I think the party, we raised the money because, and you know, maybe some of the thing that exacerbated this thing was that, you know, we are a progressive institution. Such an election should have sat down and then observe things and see what, see where to go and see what the wind is blowing and the policy. We have our own man in the race. One of our progressive brothers is in the race, but it was just hastily the folks went and took a decision.
Mr. Trobel, let me just interrupt you a bit there. I also got insider information that the $10,000 was actually money meant for medical expenses for Dr. Bole and his wife. And when you guys made up that appeal, he then, you know, put his health aside and gave you the money.
Yeah, sure. When we went there, that's I must admit he told us that. He and his wife, Madam Wede Cover Bole, told us that.
When did you people take the money from him? What year was that?
Well, it's kind of I think it's a year and a half or 2 years. I can't be exact. Gentlemen.
But it's around a year and a half and 2 years. Okay, Mr. Trobert, thank you for giving us the insider information. Thank you.
Okay,
So, but
Can I ask one
thank you
question?
very much. Thank you, Mr. Trobert. Thank you very much. Let me bring in Councilor. Gibson, let me bring in the Councilor.
Gibson,
I want to ask you one question before you leave.
Gibson,
No, he left. All right, guys, hold on 1 minute. Hold on 1 minute. Hold on 1 minute, Mo Adi. Mo, hold on 1 minute. Gibson, he left. He was just giving us some, a progress. So consider that. Yeah, go ahead real quick, Mo. Then we'll bring in Councilor.
Yeah, well, in most instances, the smaller parties, when they owe somebody $10,000, that is the underlying factor. When the time is coming for NEC inspection, they don't have that amount, which is the base amount you should have in your account. They just go quickly and credit. They put it there. When NEC finish checking after 1 or 2 months, they withdraw your money and give it back to you.
Thank you. Councillor, you can go ahead, sir.
So I mean, this news is really troubling, and I don't. This issue is more of a social political issue from all the information that have been passed on here from Mo and other people, as opposed to legal. It may have just ended up in court, but I don't really see it as a legal issue. It's an issue of political differences that you have different levels to deal with. You got one the level like what Mo is saying. I mean, he's been involved in a political party politicking longer, and it seems like some degree of deception. That's what it seems like, and that's something that should not be tolerated in a society where, if a political party cannot raise the mandatory $10,000 and keep it in the account, that money should not even be moved away from the account, and that can easily determine whether the money was moved or not. The minimum balance in any political party account should be $10,000. It's not saying operational as in September every year you should have 10,000 there. No, that's not the law. The law is the minimum balance should be $10,000. So you can use all the other money, but there should always be 10,000 there. Why would people be going in schemes like this where they will have to collect money from people in order to deceive NEC? That is the more serious question that we have to answer. The issue about the debt and the way it's being handled, I don't understand why the court has ordered the arrest, because if these people have property, normally under the law, like Gibson said, you go by attachment, you liquidate a property, you liquidate the income in order to pay this debt. If they cannot pay it, then the judgment proof. And when the judgment proof, it means you gotta leave your own with God. So, and from all indication, apparently the money is no longer in the account. Because if that money was basically treated as a minimum balance, then it would be there. He can basically just force them to sign a check and get his money back. But apparently the money is no longer there. So there are two levels here. One, the political thing that happening because from what Mo said, he's not satisfied that if people decided to go and support CDC. I would not be satisfied if I put $10,000 in a political party and then they decide to go and support somebody who I don't support. I won't be satisfied. I will probably act like Eugene and go and take my football,
But guys, so on a serious note, before you take your football, though,
this
party, I beg you 1 minute. This party don't have money, but they want to come into power.
That's what I want.
How can we be so serious as a Liberian? You don't have money. 10,000, Dr. Richardson. But then you want to come to power to do what?
Quickly, let me say something quickly. If NEC was doing unannounced account, check, many parties will be decertificated.
They don't need to do unannounced. They don't need to do unannounced check. They only need to look at the bank balance. Ask for the bank statement for the whole year. At any point that money goes below 10,000, that's an issue that you should hold the people for. You don't have to go and when they check the account, look at the bank statement for the whole year. That's what you do. And if you do that,
so let's move on to the next one.
You guys are also aware that people form parties in Liberia as a way of wielding power, because they know that at the end of the day, when they can't succeed, they throw their weight behind another party. When that party wins, the leadership, some members of the leadership will be given ministerial position and stuff like that. So people use this for power. They're not necessarily, and you raised a very good question, Stella. How a political party cannot even maintain $10,000 bank balance that you have to go credit to deceive NEC? I think Unity Party also was in that kind of problem when it sees.
Oh, there we go again. Dr. Richardson. Dr. Richardson, go ahead. No. I'm not going to bring that flag. I knew that where you were coming from. Dr. Richardson, go ahead.
Do you know how long the political party has to maintain the $10,000 in their bank?
It is a minimum balance. So like the UP, for example, we have 3 accounts, right? The sum total of your account, the balance, the minimum balance should be 10,000 at all time.
Okay, understand. Got it.
Now, 30 seconds. Let me say this. The thing you can be scared to talk about Fagon can get talk. I don't have problem with talking it. Look, People didn't just pick up their party and rush to CDC. Hey, yeah, the party, yeah, take it. We know what happened. Okay? You know, everybody know the secret yet. Y'all took the man 10,000. Y'all maintain the minimum balance. Then y'all took the party, rank the party. Y'all know whether PLP or UPP, all of y'all know what y'all got. Instead y'all carry the man and y'all issue, then the balance y'all divided. No, y'all clear that one, even clear the man money. And that is a fact. People shouldn't be afraid to talk the thing that y'all know is a fact. The second thing here is this. Investment politics. Brother, get your 5,000 signatures. Maintain your 10,000 in your account. Hustle for 200,000 people in all 15 counties. Your 10,000 plus an additional investment of maybe 5,000 or 10,000, that's 20. When you negotiate with a government like George Weah government, you can get a return on your investment of 200,000 clean money because it will carry in the bag. And all you can do, take care of all the beginning that can talk too much, and you can walk away with 150,000. That's what all these guys did. They don't have people.
No question.
And so this man have the right to sue them, get his money from them. In fact, but to next that issue will be resolved. Why are we wasting our time for 10,000 that money?
Thank you very much. We got to move to the next conversation. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I have a question, Boali. Can you please clarify? I heard through the grapevine today that Unity Party had a judgment against them for not paying their rent on, I believe, the old building. I think this is kind of related to the story. That's why I'm asking you, because it's the same kind of money business
It does not relate.
Why are you doing this thing for Gibson to come in?
Well,
That is the
I come in.
Why are you saying that related to the story? Is that money business in party, political parties?
No, it doesn't relate to bank balance. We owe the McLeans some amount for rent for our old party headquarters. The issue we've been going back and forth with the lawyers is the payment term. So we finally settled on payment because we told them we'll pay them by installment, and the first $40,000 has been made available to them through the court. So the payment term is there. That one, that debt issue. We didn't deny that, oh, we owe you. We will go through the payment process. It's as simple as that. So I saw some funny things in newspaper today, and I guess that you're the one sponsor there, you're in Jeru there. But
I mean, this is what I know. This is what I know. And I decided not to talk about this. The first thing, the Unity Party did not have money. Mo Ali does not have money to put money forward. Alari Toba does not have money to put money forward. In Gafwan is broke already, does not have money to. So Costa's father, Mr. Bernard Ure, who was helping Boaka with money, he decided not to help anymore, and the Unity Party did not have money to pay for their office.
This is a blatant
from the belly of the devil.
I beg you, Jeru. This money we're talking about, this debt we are talking about was inherited. When Madame Salif was standard bearer of the party. Now the late Wally Knockers and others went into a deal with the McLean for that headquarters in Congo Town. God know where they came from and agree on $60,000 per annum. When we took over, when our leadership took over, we told the McLean, we don't know how you signed this contract with Knockers, who is not living now, but clearly the Unity Party cannot pay you $60,000 per annum.
I tell you, then we can pay what you have for that.
So they say, okay, you inherited some debt. You need to pay it. And when Joseph Baka became standard bearer from Madame Selita, there was a debt of $180,000. JMB cleared the $180,000 and paid them additional money. So we told them, we cannot pay this. If you can agree to reduce the cost by $30,000, we may take the
wait, let me explain the thing. I saw that I'm going to know the truth.
No, hold on. It's a serious thing.
But let me explain it.
Gibson, wait. Guys, hold on. Gibson. Gibson, wait, Gibson, wait, Gibson,
Let
wait.
the
I
man
beg
explain that you
everybody.
ask. Because the man here
Listen,
today now you watch
this
out.
is very, very sensitive. Everybody will have the time to ask Mo Ali this question,
Exactly.
please. But let Mo Ali finish Gibson, then we'll give you guys chance, please.
The party's leadership under JMB clear $180,000 debt, and then we pay additional $60,000. Then we told them this money we're paying, we want to renegotiate what you negotiated about because we cannot afford to pay $60,000. We don't know on what basis you negotiated $60,000. Therefore, we want you to bring it down by 50%. We can afford to pay $30K per annum. They said no. So we say, okay, we will move. They said, then what you owe us, pay it. We say, yeah, we are not denying that we don't owe you. We owe you 3 years. We will pay, but we will pay in installment. They went to court. The court asked, do you owe them? We say, yeah, we owe them. How do you want to pay? This is what we want to pay. Every year, they said, no, we can't agree. So it is the negotiation that has been ongoing. And finally, we came to a settlement on how we will pay. So the first 40K has been remitted to them through our lawyers, Bushu Ben Keita. So we do not owe them. And now you're talking about JMB say.
So hold on 1 minute now. Hold on. No. Mo Ali, no. Let me fair to that. Mo Ali, slow down. We will give Gibson, Lamy, and Dr. Richardson the chance to ask you a question. That's why I go. So Gibson, you want to go before Dr. Richardson? You are muted, sir. You are muted. Can you unmute yourself, sir?
I asked the question because when leaders are talking, when they say, currently I'm living on debt, I'm living on credit, and you as a surrogate comes out here and claim the man pay 180,000, and the same 180,000 has been reported by Front Page Africa, which is the crux of the matter of the indebtedness, then you are deceiving all of us because JMB did not pay 180,000. You know that. You know he said he was.
No. Are you asking a question now, or are you making a statement?
I want to know. Are you claiming, because I got the information? Are you still claiming in this public manner that the debt you owe that Mr. Madar, who was the chairman, refused to pay, was any part of the current rent? Was it inherited debt? Are you going to say that in public or in the public today?
You asked the question. Wait, let me answer you.
Right? JMB leadership. He's the political leader.
JMB leadership inherited the party.
Thank you.
We inherited our headquarters with 3 years default on rent payment. 3 years, which amounted to $180,000 in 2016. We cleared our debt out through our leadership, headed by JMB. And as we move on, we incur another debt for 3 years, which is another $180,000. When Ami Moda and I took over the party, we told the McLeans, we can service your debt, your $180,000 debt, but we can no longer afford to pay $60,000 a year for this headquarters. So we are asking you, we will clear it. We raised the first money, $60,000 to give to them. They say, no, we don't want it. We want you to pay all the $180,000 down cash before we can negotiate. We told them that is not possible. And I told them, particularly in the meeting, if we had $180,000, I will not pay your debt. We'll go build a new headquarters and move on. They will be paying your debt more. So they got angry. They went to court. When they went to court,
to get it clear. So now we are
real quick, guys. We gotta move on very quick because Dr. Richardson got to come in.
The money that we are talking about is not just money that was inherited from the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf era, but it was
the one that was inherited from the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf era was clear.
Okay. So it was the current debt that the organization, that the Unity Party. Thank you very much. That's all I want you to be honest about.
Thank you very much. Dr. Richardson, can you come in? You say you have something to say.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this is really important because we're looking at a party with a leader who wants to be president of Liberia, and he's having some challenges with, paying his rent for his party headquarters. But Moali, do you have documentation to show that the court agreed to your settlement to pay,
I'm asking for paper, Moali.
They
honor
think
brief-
JT,
you
but
for
you
that,
want document
you
that
for that
show
Isa.
time.
No.
You for
I'm
that
for
Isa,
that
Mo.
anything. If you want documentation, the party lawyer, the legal counsel, the lead on our lawyer's bench is Councilor Bushiben Keita. We invite him here, and he will show you all of the documentations. And you know, Dr. Richardson, when the show is closing, I like the fact that you always requesting for documentation. I will ask you for some documentation at the closure of the show. Tomorrow you will bring them. So Bushiben Keita will
we
provide
stay
all of the
on Unity
documentation.
Party. Yeah, we're not going to any other party. That Unity Party, the
No,
ones
I
that
want to say at the
register.
end of the show. I want to say at the end of the show, the issue about that thing, look, Dr. Richardson, you should be proud of the UP. We do not go hiding. Our activities are in the public so that we can be critiqued by the public, and that is what we call transparency. Everybody owes in the war. The country owes. Just we are now pouring to there 2.1 billion. All the great countries owe. So when United Party owe rent, then somebody say you're dead 12 years, you couldn't raise money to pay your own headquarters, you couldn't do the one. One thing the UP did not do for 12 years, we don't steal money to put it in our party. That's why we run our party from the dues that are paid.
So we come back to that story now. Dr. Richardson, you got more questions?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I just want to see documentation.
Let me before Councilor coming though. Let me be fair, yeah, eyes. Moadi.
Yeah.
So you guys won the court. Be exact. How much did you guys pay already of this most recent debt?
We made $40,000 available.
And what's the balance? How much the balance?
So the balance out of 40 is 120,000.
It's 120,000. So
yeah.
it was how much? 180 or 160?
No, 100 and so that's 60. So that 180.
So you're not being correct now. Let's go back. How much have you paid?
60,000 for 3 years.
No. Everybody heard you clear now. How much have you paid?
I said 40. We've made
and what's
40
the balance?
Available.
And what's the balance right now?
Yeah, 140 balance.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so it's 140 balance. The 140 balance now. What was the duration of time you guys going to pay? You're going to drag it to after election, after you guys take over?
I know when we were in leadership, what we were negotiating was to pay $15,000 per annum. And this has nothing to after you guys take over or not, because there is one thing that happens here. Unity Party, when you check our books, our bank accounts are there. We can provide it for you. Go there and check how much goes in every month from dues, from our lawmakers, from partisans.
No. It's not what I can say. I'm not on that right now. We try to talk about this thing. Don't drive us crazy. I am asking you. I'm asking you. Give us an outline as to the payment plan. Are you guys going to drag this there after you take over as government?
No, Stanton.
My man, you can take the phone call and call your councilor back. Don't do Stanton back. I'm not putting you there. No. I'm not putting you there. No. We gotta be fair. We gotta and I think Gibson.
Now why you don't want to come to me? Why you don't want to come to me?
You gotta wait. I'm asking the former. I'm asking the former Secretary General.
Your question is
Thank you. I am asking the former Secretary General.
To prove here.
Let me answer.
No, I'll give you a chance. What's the question? What's the question try to prove? Moali, hold on. What's the question trying to prove here is the inability of a political party to take care of its debts, and it wants to go to national government. And at the end of the day, there will be always vendors, and vendors will be crying behind them. This is a clear example of an inability to lead. That's what I'm trying to say here.
Correct.
You are dead wrong on the subject matter. And again, let more answer you. I will have my time. You got it to West Central tweet going around.
No. Listen, we yet to talk, right? And we hearing all your more. Hold on 1 minute. Hold on 1 minute.
No, and I
Fagon,
only until I answer your
Fagon,
question.
you got a point.
I am not
Praise
I
and
want,
Paul,
I
you
want.
didn't give me a chance to talk.
No,
From the very beginning, you said I will not let Fagon talk. Why
and
would
I
I let
only
him talk?
until I answer your question.
Very soon they will soon go to council. Go to represent
Payment
us.
stipulations were
Because
made
Councilor
at
Gonzo
the
will be the
vote.
only person to rescue
And
them.
obviously, United Party is winning the election this year. The payment stipulations were made. They will be paid over a period of 2 or 3 years. That is clear.
But
And
then let no. You answer the question. Wait now. Wait. You answer. Wait. You answer the question. No, Mo Ali, you answer the question. Mo, let me fair. Mo, let me fair. Mo, let me fair. Mo,
is it from government that we raise the 40K? I just want you to answer that.
I'm gonna answer you. Gibson, just wait 1 minute. Gibson, wait 1 minute. Gibson, wait 1 minute.
Government that we raise it.
And let me answer you this way, my brother Mo Ali.
We have raised 40K. Is it from government that we raise it?
We have heard. We have heard you.
Answer the question.
I am going to answer you. Mo, I will answer you. I am not Mo Ali.
No, my brother.
Mo Ali.
Yeah.
I am not a Unity Party member. You
I'm
are.
asking you. You say
you are the former. But let me answer your question. Let me answer your question, Mo.
We're taking over government next year. We raise
Mo
40K.
Ali.
Is it from government that we raise it?
Mo Ali, can I answer your question freely? You are harassed. You gave me the problem. Let me answer and solve your problem. That's what Richard said. You asked a good question. This is a government in waiting. As much as we can beat on other government, but Mo Ali, please do not interrupt. This is a government in waiting, right? And Councillor Lamik Pako, you will agree with me on this one. If you guys cannot settle that debt prior to the election, and all my UP friends will get very with me. I think it's questionable to say that you guys will roll the debt over till you become president and leader of the country. It's not fair for the Liberian people. I challenge you and your leadership. You guys must pay the people money before the election. Before the election. Because remember, we can talk together. We can talk together, but I'm picking you.
Because you beating around the bush and saying things.
Mo Ali, you will be the one. You will be the one to tell us, because you know what? I am not from Unity Party. You tell us how you raise that money.
You insinuate that United Party will take government money to pay when we're raising money.
I am not saying that. Mo, I don't want to mute you. Mo, the people asking that we got to mute you because you're interrupting. We got to bring in Councillor Lamik Pako. Councillor, you're a good councillor. Councillor,
you were right. You were
move on. I will come to you. Councillor, let's move on. Let's move on. Let me mute Mo Ali. Councillor, please come in.
For me, what is of interest in this matter is what Mohammed said about the rent for the premises, that it was too high, and they were not sure about what kind of arrangement went in with the previous administration to rent that kind of property. That speaks about the way political party financing is done in this country. That one of the things that we need to really do something about. That political parties, especially where they are in power, they tend to have these fabulous sums of money that they can do whatever they want to do with. I understand that the CDC probably bought their headquarters. Where they took the money from is something that we need to investigate. It all boils down to this perception, the either real, actual, or perceived perception that there is corruption in politics in this country. We need to take it seriously. So since Mo is on the program, maybe it's good for Mo to tell us what made him to think that deal wasn't fair. And the fact that they said the deal wasn't fair, I mean, it says they didn't think that something corrupt was happening, that these people inflated the rent in order to get kickback and stuff like that. Because I'm sure they did some investigation in order to deal with this issue. And also it appears like they were owing 3 years when they took over, and by the time they left the area, they were still owing 3 years. So apparently they only paid the debt, or they only pay for the period that they were there. So, but I'm more interested in what informed their decision that this deal wasn't fair. mean, because he was one of the
All
people
right,
there.
so before we go to more, yeah, before we go to more on that, let me
Ask
bring
a
in
question.
Fagon.
Let me
No,
answer
more.
He
More
asked
than
me a
two people
direct question.
more than two people moderating. I hold your peace more about the law will fight your battle. Let me bring in
I
Fagon.
want to my own
Go
battle. I
ahead.
want a lot to fight my battle.
Fagon, go ahead. Oh man, you gotta pay the people money before you win election in the country. It's not fair for the Liberian people.
No, they will pay according to the law.
Fagon, go ahead. Oh. Go ahead, Fagon.
Thank you, Mo, for educating Stanton on how it is done. We don't pay according to you on the show. We pay according to the law. Thank you, Mo. You did good for him. It's sweet for him. Now, let me count. He been dodging me all day because he want me to talk. There was the McLeans were in early government. You know, I'm a historical reservoir. And if you don't know how parties have been running, Edward McLean was in Ellen's government. The United Party was in control. And that's why Moden said, we're not criticizing Madame, but we didn't know the deal between you and Madame and the McLean and our people. But there's 60,000 per annum. No. Who pays that kind of money for a place? We afford to get your 30 and play our hand rich. Because they were no longer in power. The McLeans themselves were not in power. My Ellen was not in power to bring that money, Stanton. Speaking of the same kind of issue, let's go to Archibald Bernard, the legal advisor to the president in the office of the president. The party headquarters is being rented from him. Don't say Fagon say, I will leave it to be your homework. Do you know how much CDC were paying before they took over? And then how much CDC start paying after they took over? That's Gibson Jerry's job to go do. I'm not here to can tell you. But that's how they've been doing it with the option to buy. Now, if George we are leaves from there, guess what's going to happen? The other people will have to renegotiate because we are a legal advisor. It's the same way McLean was in the office of the president. So they did their thing. Now the poor masses are suffering for the party. And that's what's going to happen. You saying they will not carry debt? No. The court have agreed. They pay the 40,000. We pay the 40,000 as per the stipulation. Whether United Party is in government or not, they have to pay the money. They will pay the money. But what I want my brother Gibson to know is that your country, when they took over, it was 800 million when this government took over. It's 2.1 billion. They are in debt. The United States debt is over 13 trillion. They're too in debt. You yourself are saying now over there, your credit card, you paying every month. You are in debt. The house you living in, you are in debt. You pay mortgage every month. So we all can be in debt. The honest data Francine House, a big Kilimanjaro, I've been there. I went all down on the ground. Oh, she in debt. So at the end of the day, or big Mercedes Benz, I don't see it. So at the end of the day, I'm just saying to the Liberian people, don't listen to Stanton and Gibson. Everybody will be in debt. Our ability to service that debt is what matters. And when they say, oh, JMB pay, it didn't mean JMB took the money out of his pocket. He's the political leader and he's the one that takes the decision in consultation with the executives of the party. So he made a decision to pay the people and they went ahead and paid the people. Speaking of that now, to use Stanton, if you see JMB settling issues, it means JMB will settle issues in the next government simply, and you will not see people running to court, this and that, all that thing. He will take care of problems. He's a solutionist. He solves problems. Even if he didn't create it, he will solve it. Even when Charlene said grandma couldn't pay, that was not a problem, but he made Charlene ma go to school. He solved it. Even the water pump at the Bombing College, he solved it. Even the water pump recently to the school, he solved it. He just there to solve problem. He not fixing anything because the thing ain't break, the thing ain't destroy, but the human being must be rescued and the state must be rescued. So to find a solution to the Liberia's problem right now, whether it be drugs, whether it be corruption, whether it be extrajudicial killings, we need a solution to the Liberian problem. And who else would give us that solution? A man who is noted for solving problem. Well, fix it. Coca-Cola had no problem to fix. Tiago Gonglo had no.
That your business.
Let me. You can't guess it. Let me say my own. Let me say my own. Let me speak to
But
the
they ask
Liberian
me
people
question. I
tonight.
haven't answered anything.
No. Your brother if I gonna answer for you, baking you, leave her alone. Let me say my own.
No, let me ask how
It is
we can fix it.
important. No, I beg you more. It's very important, my fellow Liberian. If we beat on this side, let's beat on the other side. All the Tabata Fagon talk. Listen, all the Tabata Fagon just make mention of Liberia. Let me say this. I would be surprised. And maybe folks gonna get mad at me. Now I'm talking about that they're gonna get mad, right? You see how they start the Gibson? I want to say to Uncle Joe, there should be one of the first tests to make sure that this debt is paid before they take over.
My man, we're not paying debt.
Let me finish. Mo, let me finish. I beg you.
The one that said I want to do, and now why you talking?
Mo Ali, let me finish. I beg you. Don't put me in situation, Mo. Don't put me in situation. Let me finish, but I beg you, man.
I will.
It is important. It is important for us to say. And you see, they got it so good at this thing. It's not you ready to hit them, Gibson. They don't interrupt you. Now, exactly what they meant, though. The man said that we owe 180,000, but we pay 40. And the banner we owe that 120. You believe it, Liberia? From 180, and you take off 40, that 120 left? That 140 left. That 140 left. Now the message that I say, we will not pay. My man, I know, man.
Let me rescue the situation. You know, when we come on the show,
they ask you questions.
They call my name. You call my name, so I'm just responding to because you call my name.
I say, let me
Okay,
ask you.
you got a moderator. Call the moderator.
No, but let me ask me a question.
No, let me I'll let you 10 seconds. Don't worry, I got 10 seconds. Let me tell you something. When we come on this show, we don't trivialize major issues. Gibson Jerry living a mortgage, yes, I do. Gibson Jerry holds a credit card, yes, I do. But these are trivializations of the issue. We're talking about somebody who you call Rescue One. Can I even rescue your own party? You call him Rescue One. And the man is, you are projecting, Mr. Mo, Mr. Ali. I'm sorry for saying Mr. Mo. Mr. Ali, you are projecting that in the next 2 to 3 years, before you finish paying the debt, is that how you're going to handle vendors? Is that how you're going to rescue Liberia by transferring vendors or debts to the next administration? So let me tell you something. He's not Rescue One. Don't call him Rescue One anymore. Until you are paid the debt, you should not call him Rescue. Congo cannot find himself in that situation.
Well, man, I'm sorry, bro. Ali, I'm sorry to put you in a situation, bro.
No, hello. Let me respond to Gibson.
Eugene, don't be asking that kind of question, man. That question doesn't.
You know what,
But you know why you're waiting about. One at a time, guys. One at a time, please.
Gibson's statement just then tells me that Gibson understanding about debt payment and repayment of loan and other things is not there. Gibson, I will urge you to stick with the journalism thing. When people credit, and if they took you to court, you can come up with agreement on how you will pay. When government credit from vendors,
that wasn't credit. You didn't credit him. No, that wasn't credit. That wasn't credit, Mo.
If you want to disrupt the show,
that wasn't credit. That wasn't credit.
Wait, you even know what they call credit. Hello.
That wasn't credit.
Hello.
You owe him because the father didn't pay the rent.
Wait.
That's a Richardson. You're going to be quiet, that's a Richardson.
You disrupting.
No, I want you. Please add this to the answer, Mo.
I don't know what they call credit. If I am living in your house,
you were cracking that. You cry, yeah. You were cracking that.
Don't you think?
I don't think anything until I can answer the question and the issue raised against me.
let's
Nobody
go
else
beyond the
saying
credit
anything.
business. Let's
No,
go beyond the
no,
credit
no, no,
business.
no, no.
Do you think?
It's not
Do you
going
think
to
it
work
is
like that.
strategic thinking for
It is
a
not
party
working
as
like
big
that.
as your party
I will
and a
demand
government
credit
in waiting
for
to know that you can't
simple,
afford
and I'll respond to
$60,000 a year? You're staying in that property for 3 years. After you pay the
hello,
first you stay
hello.
there for 3 years.
Hey, but you're not making any point here. Stanton, when you live in somebody's place and you don't pay the rent on time, that credit, you owe the person that debt. Credit does not only mean that, oh, Stanton and broke will credit me money, they take money, give it to me. That's a skewed definition of
I
credit.
want you to hear yourself well, because if we were to reply, we remind you on what you're saying. Hear yourself well, please.
Yeah. So back to Gibson. Gibson, when you go to the court to service debt, they said, oh, you agree. The person who is the debtor and the person who is indebted, you agree on credit terms. On payment terms. In this case, when we were there, we were negotiating with the McLean to pay $15K a year. They said no. That's why the negotiation went on. At this point, I don't know how much they've agreed on to pay per annum, but they've had an agreement that was signed and agreed on by the court and stamped by the court. It is this debt that we are servicing in accordance with the court. So whether you like it or not, we will pay according to the law. And the law is what the Unity Party abides by. And now coming to that Lamy point, the first thing you should understand, if Unity Party was interested in taking money from government to pay rent, we would not be indebted. That's the first thing you should understand. Because we are a very transparent and credible political institution, that's why even when we were ruling party, when we were governing party, we were still owing, because we depend on dues paid from our membership to service
That's
our
not what
rent.
Mr. Falcon said. Mr. Falcon said my clients are in the government. So could they have been lenient on you guys?
I beg you, Dr. Richardson, let him finish. Let him finish. I'm begging you. Just let him complete.
Is it denying that the McLeans
Go
were
ahead.
not
More
involved?
Ali complete by you and I hijack the show.
At the end of the day, whether McLeans were in government, they were lenient on us or not, that was not our problem. When the new leadership inherited the party headquarters, we were clear with the McLeans. Whatever agreement you have with the knuckles, we don't know about it. And we do not think we can afford to pay you $60,000 for this headquarters. You can either bring it down to $30,000 or we move. They say we can bring it down. And they're bidding there. Nobody want to pay even $1 for it now. We move. We got a very fabulously beautiful headquarters. We pay our rent on time and everything. We are servicing that debt through the court. We carry the $40,000 to the court. The McLeans can go there and collect it. And by the way, the McLeans are an ungrateful set of people. Let me say it here. Very ungrateful set of people to the UP. We employ them in our government, and they are the one taking us to court. You are the McLean to local, you are the McLean at agriculture, you are the McLean at information, you are the McLean at Ministry of State, and yet they are so ungrateful when we empower them. They are ungrateful set of family.
All right, thank you very much, bro. So this is why. So this is why. No, wait. Gibson, wait. Dr. Richardson, go ahead. Dr. Richardson, go ahead. Dr. Richardson, go ahead. No. Let Dr. Richardson go ahead. Go ahead, Dr. Richardson.
I'm really surprised that Mo will be here attacking the McLean family on this show. But furthermore, I just
Mo, let the woman speak. I'm begging you,
it sounds
sir.
like a personal issue, but I'm just wondering about the thinking ability, the strategic thinking ability, because of a party that is in waiting, a government that is in waiting, okay? Because you're going to be making decisions on our country's debt. And now you know that you couldn't afford this building for 3 years. You are negotiating for 3 years. Why couldn't you just make the decision, say, listen, we cannot afford this building. Let's move on. You stay there for 3 years and accrue more debt. How does that explain the decision-making planning process of Your leadership.
You asking me the question, right? And you want me to answer, right?
Mhm.
Now, I will tell you this. We stay at that headquarters for one cardinal reason. Ambassador Boakai has started a negotiation with the McLeans to purchase the property to be used, for the party to purchase it to be used as our permanent headquarters. The McLean initially had given some green light that after the first 3 years of Ambassador Boakai's leadership as standard bearer of the party, they will make the negotiations. In fact, that was one of the points they made when Ambassador Boakai took over. He said, I want the property, I want the party to buy it. They said, clear the 3 years debt that you inherited from the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf era. Because initially we wanted to move. When Ambassador Boakai made the proposal, they agreed, they said negotiation will start. We paid them the money. Then after 1 year, the ambassador asked, where are we with the negotiation? Can we start? The next thing the McLean came and called an outrageous sum for that property. They said $3 million. We told them, no way. $3 million, you know what UP will do? What place UP will go get $3 million from to come buy property from you? It was at that point we had a breakdown in negotiation and everything. So when our leadership took over with a business-minded person and with the advice of the standard bearer, we told them we cannot go forward with this. We moved. We moved. We loved the property. We wanted it for ourselves. And they didn't agree. And that's why I said they are ungrateful. And you say, I'm attacking them. I'm not attacking them. I've said this in their faces, that you are ungrateful set of family. We provided bread for you for years. And you took us to court. We got issues.
How about the
So let me
citizen
say
judges
this.
that Ellie
Let
had
me say this,
against
Dr.
Ellie had
Richardson.
against
Dr. Richardson, we got to move on. And it's just enough that we beat on. I'm going to break my silence on this UP headquarters.
You get
I
silent. You
was
get
asked.
information before you be silent.
Hold on 1 minute, Moadi. Hold on 1 minute. It's serious. I have documents, and all these things were politics. I have document in my email, Gibson. I was asked by a political party to buy this, to buy the UP headquarters. When I asked you the question, Mo Ali, is very serious. Opposition to UP, opposition political party. And I will break my side and I will show the document at the appropriate time. I think politics will play.
You are breaking the silence on Monday. Do not do it. I will expect you.
Mo Ali, politics will play. But my own 2 cents here is that after Madam Sirleaf left, the people had to change their mind. That's what you are saying. They couldn't continue with JMB. But I would feel so relieved if UP can pay this debt. Do not allow the debt to travel with you. But if you, Mo Ali, and the party say will go according to the law, that's fine. Well, hold on now. If you guys, hold on, Mo Ali, you stop interrupting your back. If you say that you will go according to the court, right, Gibson, then that's your business. But as to me, as a party that is in waiting to take over, you put this in behind you and don't take this Sakota with you, because it will come back to say you never have money to pay. You drag it, now you have given the people special offer, they blah, 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 blah. But let's move on. What are we done with you? We're going to move on. You said something, Gibson.
I
No,
even know the
somebody
politics
calling.
talking about.
Somebody.
I have a whole thing on it, but I didn't want to talk about the politics part.
I hope that is the same thing, but somebody is saying that they want to respond to Mr. Gibson, because Mr. Gibson, again, sorry for your son. The gentleman whose name you call, he wanted to call in. He's watching the show, Mr. Gibson. He said that it's very, very big because he lives in America. When you call his name in that manner, we should give him time to just clear the air. So I know. So So like give the guy, I think it's Dama calling him or Fagon. You should call him. Somebody,
No,
let's
I
put a
don't have
number
a
up.
good speaker.
Yeah, but let Dama call him. Can you call him? We will give him the time to clear this thing, whether it was through him that your son got killed. This is huge, and we should give the time for him to clear the air. So I think you can send it to Dama and let Dama call him. We couldn't get to all of the story, but tomorrow we can announce that if it is true, CDC is having a big program. CDC is having a very, very big program. They want us, they listen. Dama, can you come and read about that program? Because we're wrapping things up. We got 4 more minutes. Dama, let's talk about the CDC program scheduled for tomorrow, 2 p.m.
Okay, so we did get some confidential information that on tomorrow the CDC, the Coalition for Democratic Change, will be having a massive endorsement program. Once we got that information, we've been reaching out to people within the party. They've confirmed that indeed tomorrow that endorsement program will be happening, and it's expected that 40 legislators are going to endorse the re-election bid of President Weah and Vice President Jua Howard Taylor. They're keeping the names tight-lipped, but we do know that CDC lawmakers are going to be present. And we've also been hinted that Madam Mary Kawa, the wife of Zanzan Kawa, will also be there. Um, the female representative from Lofa is also said to she's going to be attending reportedly. So tomorrow we're looking forward to the program. So that's the information we have, and we'll be waiting to see what's going to happen tomorrow at the headquarters of the CDC.
While we wrap on this thing, Dr. Richard said I will keep you for last on this one. I want to go to Lamy first. Councilor Pako, 40 lawmakers set to endorse His Excellency George Manawia re-election tomorrow, Tuesday, the 13th of June, at the national headquarters of CDC. They say in view of this historic event, the national chairman, Honorable Moba K. Malu Jr., requests the full presence of all organs of the 9 constituting party at the party headquarters on tomorrow, Tuesday, at 2 p.m. to celebrate this, they call it a profound moment. Subsequently, this is where it gets interesting. The party requests the full mobilization of all 9 parties, national youth and women leagues, auxiliaries network, Monserrato executive structure, and all partisan supporters and sympathizers of the Coalition of Democratic Change. All partisans are to be assembled 1:30 p.m. to receive the president and his entourage. Furthermore, all Monserrato County executive and their respective district executive members are to remain after the program for an important briefing discussion. They said thanks. The Honorable Jefferson Tambakoji, National Secretary General CDC, approved Honorable Moba K. Modu Jr., National Chairman. Let's wrap this thing up today on the program. What's your take, Councilor Bako?
For me, I thought all 103 of them were going to be endorsing them. So
You always kill me.
It doesn't come as any surprise. Yeah, but I mean, if you see all the Unity Party had the largest number of legislators in the legislature, all of them became CDC people. Most of the other political parties, all of them became CDC people. So I would really not be surprised if the 103 of them endorse the CDC. So Senator, we shouldn't waste our time on that thing.
Thank you very much. That was so quick. Let me bring in Mo Ali. Mo Ali, man, they're getting 40, all of the 103.
The first thing is, I'm laughing because I'm saying the truth. The people now have the highest number of lawmakers in the House. When you subtract the CDC lawmakers, how many will lead there? So I'm waiting to see how many going endorse who are not sedition. I know the speaker will endorse tomorrow, the deputy speaker, the chair on executive, the chair on ways and means. All the CDC lawmakers will be part of that endorsement. The pro tem will endorse. All of them, all the CDC lawmakers. So where the extra 40 coming from to endorse me, I'm still very confused yet.
Thank you. Let me bring in Mr. Jerry Gibson, sir. Talk to us. 40 of them, man, and they're calling for all of the leads and auxiliaries to be present. He's seated 130 before President Weah arrived.
These are all political bed warmers. So I don't have respect for some of them because that's what they do. Because they feel that by endorsing President Weah, and President Weah will give them special favor. I don't know, but these are political bed warmers. Don't take them serious. This is just a political stunt. And it has no impact on what the election result is going to be. George Weah is in for a rude awakening. All of these lawmakers who are going to endorse him will not turn the tables around. And he must think about that. He should start getting to the roots of the problem. He should go to the various villages, go to the people. The very Zogos he promised, they are all angry. No amount of lawmakers can change the trajectory of the political wild wind that is beginning to sweep around the country and sweeping out of office. This is just it's nothing. It's nothing.
Thank you. Thank you, Gibson. Dr. Richardson, let me keep the former sedition for last. Let me bring you in, Dr. Richardson. 40 of them, man. I know we got a quarter on the line. Just hold on 1 minute, Damo. We'll be getting to him shortly. Dr. Richardson, 40 of them, all of the 103.
Not surprised, and I share the same sentiment as everybody. They're just, attaching themselves to President Weah for no good reason. I mean, the government is corrupt. Maybe they're showing that they are also corrupt. So I'm not surprised actually that they will follow that trend.
All right, can we bring in Fagon before we take that call? Honorable Fagon, you have your party, Mobile Model Sound, this thing, the chairman, Jefferson Tamakoji, the National Secretary General. But my question to you, Honorable Fagon, is that, well, is this the Congress or this the collaboration? Which one?
You know why I'm laughing? Because one of the former chief strategists of the CDC, they just pulled one out of my bag. The people told you, say, they're bringing 40 lawmakers. Damo, I just said something in the producer room. The 40 lawmakers they bringing in the House of Representatives, where there is 73, they get 10. Damo has said a thing there. In the Senate, they get 3. Not 30, not 30. The men say 40, so your whole head swell up. Then they say 9 contributing party coming. Everybody check. What is now? How my PLP bringing? UPP, they go and arrest the chairman and other 4 people. Look, I put it there for you to see. Let me say this to you. Stay there. The 9 contributing party that fly, that who go in there, 40 senators. Even for the sake of argument, you get them 40 senators. 40 legislators. For the sake of argument, you will be left with a balance 63. Now who get it? Are you get it? Most of the people that will try to endorse the CDC tomorrow are people that have performed dismally. Number 1. Number 2, they broke Lechehora, and they are depending on the CDC to facilitate their campaign. Now, some lawmakers, like they get 10 in the House. In the Senate, they get 3. 10 plus 3. That's 13. You get 13 lawmakers. Who the other putting at Johnny Yuso now? So there are people that know they're not going back. Because you got people like Gibson and Lamine, who are they? They must be replaced. They must be replaced. These people know they have performed dismally. I know one lawmaker who has a chance. I can tell you that straight out, and nobody here will argue that. It's Sir Joseph. But you think Akayos Gwe can now a chance and say he will win? Now he ain't sleep with Bambagida. There's no way he can now a chance and say he will win. Because at the end of the day, he has performed poorly. So will he be there? Oh, definitely he will be there tomorrow. So now, I put it back to you. Let's just do simple math, as they say, to play into the propaganda. 40 minus 103. Take 40 from 103. The balance are 63. So if we go by endorsement of lawmaker, the opposition will win. And if you turn it around to say whether the 40 lawmakers, so-called, because I know that strategy, they didn't get no 40. Because if the Liberian people, knowing where the wind is turning, any lawmaker that show fail over there tomorrow, it means that you finish. Nothing can save you. Because if they were serious for the betterment of the propagandists like how Dr. Francis can call me, I know you propagandists. You should put up at least 20, 25 names, then you put at the end of it amongst others. But you can't put no name there.
It's not confirmed yet, Fagon. It's not confirmed yet. But I want to say, guys, thank you, Fagon. Thank you very much. It's very, very concerning. Let's watch out for the more. We got other information coming up. Again, you heard about the protests, the medical students. They went out the street today, though. Dr. Richardson. They are demanding something from the government. The medical student. There was a little mini demonstration today, and another one we'll be talking about the LDCC boss filed a petition, right, Diamond? Councilor Edwin Martin. He filed a petition with the court. Talk to us. Give us an overview quick because we are wrapping up.
Yeah. So we have the gentleman on the line, Mr. Sylvester Wah.
So let's talk to him. Then we'll come back to close up. Thank you.
Yeah. So Mr. Wah, I'm about to connect you. So Sylvester Wah, how are you?
Yeah, I'm great. Thanks, man.
Yeah. So see you.
Sylvester, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. You are here to clarify a comment that was made by our panelist, Mr. Gibson Jeru. We want to give you the chance to please. You heard what he said. Talk to us.
So go ahead, Mr. Wah, concerning the comments made by Mr. Gibson Jeru. You said you wanted to respond to that.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring people up to date, with the status of the entire thing. Just about an hour ago, I received numerous calls from my friends who were listening to Spoon that, Gibson Jeru is on Spoon and he's saying all kinds of things about you again. So when I got there, I rushed there, even though I'm at work. I didn't hear anything. So I left it. But then I called a friend who gave me a gist. But you know, the issue here is, the case is, I filed a suit against him for defamation. Both libel. I filed a suit against him for defamation. And the case is at the Civil Law Court. His lawyers are fighting to talk against what he's doing, to try to cover him from what he's doing or what he did before, but he continued to do it. And he knew better. He won't be on air continuing with his lies. You understand? Gibson Jeru is appealing to public sentiment. But I told him from the initial stage that, come what may, I believe in the court. And I will go the extra mile to prove what he doesn't want me to prove. So I wouldn't want to make Spoon to know that this case, after consultation with my lawyer, I can't discuss the fact of this case because it's before the judge and the civil court. So, and it's against the law to discuss issues when you're at the court. If Gibson Jeru wants to discuss, let him discuss. But I can tell you in due course, I'm coming back here on your Spoon Talk, and I will give people detailed explanation and facts. And I will make them understand that this young man does not read to understand one. This young man lacks the ability.
All right, thank you very much, my friend. When you get it flat, Dama, when he get it flat, then we can bring him back. All right, we want to say thank you very much.
Why did he even come here if you are not prepared to?
I just saw that he was coming to clarify. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, Gibson.
Be on so I can say something. Diamond,
go ahead,
I put a text message in the group chat room. Please put on the screen and read it for us, please.
Okay.
No, but Gibson, we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't do that.
We'll save it for another day.
Yeah, we will save it.
Yeah,
the
the
death
only
of
thing I would say,
and they
the only thing I
tell
would
us
say,
on
look,
the radio.
when you write something to people and say this is what I did, and that process leads to somebody killing, you cannot excuse yourself from it. He participated in the process that led to my son killing. I didn't sue him for wrongful death. He came and sued me for defamation. And my lawyers have already submitted all the text messages, the audio recording, insulting me, insulting my wife, calling my son killer, calling my son Zoko. They submitted that
So
already.
Honorable Gibson, why it's in the court? We want to say that we will give you guys the chance again, have our sympathy when the
Yes,
court
thank you. Okay, I'll leave
decision
it at
come
that.
forth.
I will leave it at that.
Thank you very much. So I just thought that he was going to say something in a positive direction for us to move on. But thank you very much, Honorable Gibson. Lame, you want to do your closing quick because you got to run, my brother.
Yeah, I must start.
Sorry, the Kolokwa said you're coming.
Consider.
I'm not getting it to play stuff. I'm coming. Let me.
You want to come
see if
later?
I
Saying you want him to find something for you?
No, he queuing something for me, so let me just go second.
Okay, we'll go second. Honorable Gibson, you want to go first?
Yeah, I want to go first. I want to come back to the UP thing. That's where I do my closing. I don't really, Councillor Gongo usually tell us when we go out there, we shouldn't fight other oppositions. But he did also tell us that we should make a clear distinction between the opposition political figures who actually is living the way they say they're going to change the trajectory of the country. Somebody talk about somebody being or McLean being ungrateful. Are you kidding me? The greatest ingrate of all time in the Liberian politics is JMB. This man does not care about being grateful to people who doing good. Talk about the way he treats and the way he discussed about Ellie. This man was vice
Honorable
president for 12
Gibson,
years.
Honorable Gibson, those are our political leaders. Please don't call him ingrate.
Okay, I apologize.
I beg
I
you. Let's
apologize.
just watch and give them some respect.
I apologize.
I mean, we are not at that level
No
yet to
problem. No
insult
problem. I
the
agree.
leaders.
No
Go
problem.
ahead. Go ahead.
But here's the honorable ambassador, vice president, who stayed with Ellie for 12 years and came out and said he was a dump truck parked for 12 years. Are you people, do you really believe that Ellen packed him for 12 years? But he forgot he said that. He went on Costa show and said JMB had done, Ellen had done everything that he suggested to Ellen on Costa show, even though he forgot that he was packed for 12 years. You cannot have it both ways. You can be packed for 12 years and being made dormant by a president, and then you come on the other side and say, everything I have suggested to Ellen, she has done 99% of it. I don't know which is which. So you shouldn't talk about people being ungrateful. Look, if we want to be rescuers, we should start practicing it from our bedroom. This is why some of us committed our resources to Councillor Gongo. If Councillor Gongo party was owing today, I would be one of those who would bankroll my company to participate in paying our debt. You cannot take a debt, a privately owned debt by a political party and drag it into another 2-3 years before when you become president, before you can pay. That is how you're going to treat vendors. How you're going to treat people who will be owing, the government will be owing. This is a bad example. This is not rescuing people. This is about putting them into the hole and covering them with a huge log. So please, let's not say my greatest admiration for Mr. Boakai is for the Unity Party to clear that debt before they go into the election. Because if they don't clear that debt and go into the election, it will give us the impression that's how they're going to run the government. And we can guarantee, the councillor is here, we can guarantee that Councillor Gonzo will never do something like that. He will not tell people, I will not pay them until I go to the next government. That's the travesty of justice. The people need their money, pay their money. And we from the Gongo camp will not attack opposition. But please, when you come here, don't say something that is not true. JMB paid 180,000. We own money. The man was broke yesterday, living on debt. Now he is now paying 180,000 to people, which is not even true. Let's not do that. I agree with all the propaganda that you want to do. But look, I'm a realist. First of all, when I speak almost like a journalist because it's very difficult for me to do propaganda. You don't see me doing propaganda. I deal with facts. That's why when sometimes I'll tell you, say, when I speak as a journalist, when I speak as this person, because I want to be because after this, there will be gifting after this. And I like to copy from Councillor Gonglo that say there are two C's that will try to protect my conscience and my country. And those of you on JMB side, you don't have a conscience. Because if you have a conscience, you will not put forward an individual who cannot make an independent decision, who is surrounded by political flunkies, who want to go to power and become more powerful than the president they are going to serve. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much. I'm going to bring in Mo Ali. Mo?
The first thing I would say is, like the communist people, Gibson Jeru is trying to raise the argument so that they can see Councillor Gonglo, who have a great admiration for, so that they can see him as a contender in these elections. Unfortunately for you and Councillor Kpagoe, Councillor Gonglo is not a contender. Councillor Gonglo will not be a contender. Councillor Gonglo will have no impact in these elections. So your attempt to drag the Unity Party, to make it appear like there is a debate between the dead LPP and the Unity Party, you will not succeed. We will not give you that credence. We will continue to call on you to join the rescue train so that under our tutelage, we can teach you politics and you can join the train to rescue Liberia. On the issue of, calling JMB ingrate and this and that, which you apologize for, I believe you misspoke. And you are a journalist and we know you to be one. But for a journalist who does not capture what people say, and a journalist who does not write what people say, and you say you don't do propaganda, you speak like a journalist, it's a contradiction, it's a misgiving. Because if you were speaking as a journalist, you will say, JNB said, if you want to know whether a race car can really race, don't keep it parked. Put it on the track. The race car belongs on the track. When Turbo was vice president for 19 years, nobody knew as to whether Turbo would have been a good president because he was a race car, but he was not on the track. You can only be on the track when you are the president. You cannot overshadow the president as a vice president. That's why JMB said, put me on the track and you will know whether I am a good race car or not. He never said dump truck. Mr. Journalist Gibson Jeru, write for the people and write the facts. That's what journalists do. Now, when you're talking about the dead UPO, Chief, we are law-abiding. That is the reason why we agreed to go before the court and stand before the court and abide by the decision of the court. And you who are under a councillor, you should be giving us the flowers that we applaud the Unity Party for submitting themselves to the due process, to the rule of law. We say we will service our debt in accordance with what the court has sanctioned. Now you say, oh, you will carry the debt when you become ruling party. The money that we now raise to pay, the money that we've raised to pay, that government will raise it from. If we were stealing party, if we were stealing,
I mean, they calling you to give you some information about.
When we were ruling party, wouldn't we have stole from the government to pay? We would have done so. We are so transparent to the point where we are governing party. we cannot take a cent from the government to pay because we believe that that is absolutely wrong. So Joseph Waka, the reason why we are with him, you said Councillor Gonglo said 2C. We will add one more C there, the character. Because Joseph Waka put his country first, he put his conscience there, and he also put his character there. Maybe you should transmit the last C to Councillor Gonglo so that he can learn from JMB. And I guess he will learn from him all of the time. We will run this country with the utmost respect to everyone. We will run this country with the utmost respect of transparency to transparency. And that is the reason why people like Councillor Gonglo and Councillor Lami Pagode will be at the forefront in the fight against corruption. That is the reason why we will elevate the debate and we will not make it low. The contest is between Councillor Gonglo.
Thank you very much, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Councillor Lame Bagoa will learn this name tonight.
Yeah. So I will close by saying, today's discussion basically centered around the issue of transparency and anti-corruption. But more talk about tutelage under the UP. I don't think any serious politician will want to go under UP's tutelage. Let's be really serious in this country. The UP people themselves are running away from UP's legacy. They themselves running away from it. The standard bearer claimed that they squandered the opportunity when they were in power. That fact has not changed. So I don't think any of us will want to go the tutelage of the UP. So Mo, you gotta give us some respect and not tell us that you put us under your wings and tutor us how to run government. I mean, we have the best blueprint that we are marketing to the Liberian people. And these elections are not between just the United Party and the CDC. These elections are pivotal elections for the soul of this country. There are hundreds of thousands of poor people out there that go to bed hungry every day because of the policies of the UP that the CDC only multiply exponentially. The issues of corruption, the issue of bad governance that he inherited. And Mo himself just talked about he accused some of their own people of being ungrateful because they gave them everything, and at the end of the day, they started asking them for money for rent and stuff like that. And he was implying that those people were not only ungrateful, but they made millions of dollars out of government, so they shouldn't be asking them for money at the end of the day because it was like a quote-unquote relationship between them and the McLeans. I mean, that's a revelation. That's a revelation that we should be investigating. Was Mrs. Salif and the UP giving the McLeans all these positions because they wanted to get rent-free privilege from the office over there, or some other nefarious things? We have to be serious. There are people today, right now, who listening to us that are hungry. Not that they can buy data, but they're probably listening to other people's radio playing. Their welfare should be that should matter to us. The CDC cannot solve those people's problems. The United Party itself also proved when they were in power that it could not solve those people's problems. Let us not kid ourselves to say the election is between the CDC and the United Party. There are hundreds and thousands of independent voters out there that want neither of those two groups. It is them that we speak to. We're not speaking to the people who already have their minds made up and they don't have any intention of changing. So let's change this country. Let's fight corruption. Let's make sure transparency is the order of the day. And let's make sure that when people step out of bounds, they are punished. If we can draw a line on corruption in this country and draw a deep red line on corruption in this country, I would dare say that more than 75% of our problems will be solved. I will close by quoting one of the posters. He said, corruption is illegalized under CDC regime. I will also add UP regime to this quote. Although he didn't put UP, but I'm going to paraphrase this quote by including UP. Corruption is legalized on a UP and is legalized on a CDC and was legalized on a UP. Corruption needs to be delegalized in Liberia. And that quotation was made by Emmanuel Jesse, one of the quotas, the posters today. We have to listen to these people. We have to delegalize corruption in our country in order to put it on track. And more, I beg you. We're not coming to be tutored by you because, I mean, when we've been there and you people squander your opportunity according to yourself, you squander your opportunity. We shouldn't be giving you new opportunity for you to squander again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Councillor Lame. And you are free to leave because I think it's going to be 12 a.m. We hope to see you tomorrow again. Thank you very much for your contribution, sir. Thank you. Let me bring in the Dr. Francine Chinwood Richardson.
So I'll be quick. I want to continue by saying that Councillor Parker said that corruption was legalized by the UP government and also the CDC government. We can see it in plain daylight. The UP party history suggests that they were trying to do play for play. You guys, let me reduce your rent or negotiate rent with you. And then I will hire you in the government. That's what they were trying to do, play for play. So we see that if we bring the UP government back, we will see how our country will be run. They will basically dig hole to call hole, continue the CDC practice. How in the world you owe rent, then you pay it off, and then you don't move? Then you say you're negotiating. What kind of thinking is that? Don't you think that you need to stay in a building that you can afford? So it suggests to me that the leader of your party was not thinking correctly. He was thinking irresponsibly. So on that, I don't care what you say about rent, Mwali, whether you're in settlement, you're not in settlement. Whoa, me, you're in pay the people rent, and that has a huge suggestion for what your party is keeping.
But why are you doing war me to the man?
Because it's too for you to tell party. Everything will come here, you try to confuse us that they can't settlement, blah, blah. Whatever you say tonight, you're all the people, and you're saying you're being settlement. That's a bad way to run out your party in our country. So on that note, like people you're listening, and you see the people who say they were in power for 12 years, they won't come back to continue what they wanted to do, what they want to do, which is renting people property and not paying. So they probably take our government.
Yeah, that's what people say. They want rent property not to pay.
Yeah, that's what they want to do. So on that note, right. They're listening, they won't come back. They won't come back to put our government for the debt. So I'll talk to you later.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richardson. Good having you. The Honorable Lamin Fagon. Take us home.
See, let me start with Dr. Francine with her woman. Woman, boy, all the people there, woman. Dr. Francine, you are not listening, oh? That Ma Ellen, who put Wissam McLean and all the McLean in government.
But Joe Parker was there. What he did?
You are talking Jonathan.
Joe Parker was there. He said, what did he do? You know, Mo said something. I wanted to say. I wrote
but
something.
Dr. Richardson, can
Mo said, hold on. I forgot something. I paid you. Mo said, you are not, when we're talking about Zoga Wilson, Mo made a comment. I wrote this down. He said, you are not forced to be in the job. So you won't tell me Josiah Parker sat in that job there. And my hiring and my clean people. And then y'all owing debt, but he just sat there and he said nothing to the Liberian people. That what you trying to tell me? Anyway, proceed, Mr. Falcon. Sorry for interrupting you.
That's all right. That's all right. Ma Ellen was in perfect control. This debt was accrued during Ma Ellen's time. Ma Ellen was the one who Wissam McLean, Des McLean, Edward McLean. She hired all of them. They were not Joe Parker. That's the correction I won't give you. But that they see Ma Ellen Say a corrector now that was not Joseph Boga. Joseph Boga only paying for my Ellie trouble that she created. That what Joe Boga trying to take care of. That fact is established now. Thank God. But it was the same man Ellie who brought Robert Selly, roommate from Cottington, Alexander Cummings, to our country in 2007. Whoa, me. He the one became the chief financial analyst for the Pan-African Capital Group, PACG, that brought our 66 bogus agreement.
All right, Fago, we gotta go home, man. Let's leave it this small. Now we gotta go home, man. Let's leave it this small.
No, wait to. No, don't spoil the show. That is same man Elena brought Cummings to our country and gained the highest honor in 2011 in our country for doing what thing? Joey said who used to go to refugee camp to help and do other things. They're not getting nothing. Papa Puaka, who do everything, they're not getting nothing. Woman that she don't want bring. He on a RB bank. He on a Chevron, the local money. We catching Picano renewable. Everything. Woman, we see him. Now, let me come to Lami Pago.
But Fago, we gotta go, man.
Don't do this thing, man.
You whatever you say, Fago,
the other man will say he can go on a tutelage. Besides Tier 1 Gonglo, you and the Gibson, plus all the other people in the party, which one of them being government? Why you know about government? Why you know about government? So far, United Party was there for 12 years. They say they want to tell your year making more. Besides Tier 1, which one of you are not serving government? You will go on a tutelage by force or by fire. We're not taking any funny people that who now know nothing about government. Now, I finish with Lami. Let me come to Gibson. Gibson said, Tier 1 told them not to attack opposition. When JMB that proposition, because you look at the man and call the man an ingrate. You walk it back. You say the man is the most ungrateful man. And you said it now yet. Then you turn around. You say the people in and around JMB don't have conscience. They are, quote unquote, political flunkies. And you say you don't attack opposition. When as early as this gone made before you came on the platform, you are supporting Jowia. And at the end of the day, if you don't
wait, the man supported Jowia?
I'm gonna send something to you.
Gibson a Jowia supporter?
I challenge you.
Yeah, promoting Jowia. Let me just get you one.
I see you a lifelong supporter of President Weah.
Oh, I'm a lifelong.
Yeah.
You were just there. Let me show you Gibson driving promotion.
Gibson not bad. That's your choice. That's your choice. It's not bad. That's your constitutional right.
Let me tell you, the problem.
I said it to you. I will finish.
No, but if I go speaking,
I will finish. I just said it to you in Messenger. Let me screenshot it.
Carry on.
No man, I gotta go back. I'm surprised I guess it's supported Joey.
I said May 24, the men were posting Henry quality man. Let me send it. The men were promoting as early as this
Why are you trying to say that? Let me say something. You come about Henry
Costa. My member, we gotta go back. Let's end the show, go back.
I sent it to you. I sent it in the chat room. Let me send it so you can see it.
Yeah, we put it there.
I put it there. I'm looking at scared. That penalty popping for my mom. Let me put it in the discussion room so you can see it.
I mean, we gotta go back. That's it. I'm up.
Okay, so let me finish, please. You cannot say you're not attacking opposition and you calling the men we support an ingrate, the most ungrateful. You calling us men of conscience. You calling us political flunkies. Let me say this to you. More were very nice to you, more were kind to you. I will be the same to you. Your political no ballet. You're not served in government before. None of y'all know anything about government. Y'all never even been to the front door of government. Only Tier 1. Even to find vice running mates. Y'all went to Central Street, behind the depot. That ghetto that there. And you told one guy they call Fred Zogo. The man rejected it.
But Fago,
You
the
can't
thing
hear
is,
tonight.
like somebody else roll it, does that mean?
What did he
Look
say
at
that
the
somebody
wild road.
he Gibson, Debbie, Jerry, we say what
Yeah,
he.
but look at the name under there. The person.
But why are you promoting it? You publish
man,
it.
all right, so
page.
So on this note,
Now
folks,
you
we
come
want
and
to
say
say
they hack your
thank you.
page. Dr. Francis,
On
ain't
this
see
note,
that? War me.
on this
War
note,
me.
War me, your orange. You be orange. War me, you be orange.
listen,
Today, you are
guys.
supporting
Tomorrow,
Toria, then you
but
come and
listen,
say
real
Tabata.
quick, we gotta go, real quick. Tomorrow we're going to be bringing you a very interesting conversation. Stay tuned. On Wednesday, we got somebody good for you. Something strange is happening in our country. We bring in an unannounced guest. We have to, because we got to protect the person. On Thursday, probably Senator DeLong will confirm to be on the show on Thursday. Again, we want to say to everyone, thanks for joining us. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful evening. Till we meet again, may God bless you.
Why one day
May
we
God
want to
keep
pray
you.
again? War me.
War me, you be orange. War me.
Cummins will pay that money back.
A lot of UP will pay their rent and they won't take our country over.
From the CEO, stand home with the spoons. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon.
Okay, folks. Spoon 107.5 FM, Fabric Radio 101.1 FM, Super FM 95.5. We are brought to you another edition of the program Spoon Talk. And the team gonna be here tomorrow again, 8 o'clock p.m. Liberian time. Which time we'll be back here with another fascinating edition of the program Spoon Talk right here. But until then, my name is Prince Hamon, alias DJ Mash Your Fingers. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful. God bless that from my end. Bye bye.
Crying for starvation, just don't smoke. You want to get a news update, my brother, don't spoon. You want to know what is happening, moreover, don't spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just don't spoon. You want to know what